I mean, I think if you like James Gunn, this movie is definitely like a James Gunn movie for sure. Like the comedy, the undercutting of like specific moments, the editing, like it feels very. There's like, the licensed music. It feels like a James Gunn movie for sure. But I feel like his style lends itself better to like lesser known characters like the the Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad. But like when his style applied to a major main character, I'm like, now you're making super, like, I don't know, it just doesn't.
Yeah,
I like it's a good movie. I like the movie. It's a good movie, but I think that his direction on it, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you know how quite to do, like, I don't know. You'll see, I guess.
Superman, I feel like is a hard property to like to really show. You know what I'm saying? Because even Superman Returns, Man of Steel, like every time there's like a Superman movie, I feel like it's very hard to like really get like the true essence of Superman. And I think people just like the idea of Superman more than they like the actual like telling of Superman.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think that comic book that I was telling you about, Kingdom Come, from the 90s, is really good at sort of showing that Superman is an ideal. He's like an idea, right? And when he's not around, like, people feel hopeless and all this, and he has like a little bit of personality, but it's not like he's not like a quirky, like he's not like Peter Parker or like Bruce Wayne. Like, he kind of is very milquetoast. I wouldn't say boring, but he's just like a standard man who like believes in like, certain things. I mean, kind of like Captain America. Like the way Chris Evans plays Captain America, that's kind of how Superman is supposed to like be in some sense. Like, oh, Cap is here, like we're all inspired now. Like,
strong
he's the
Christian morals.
Yeah, like he's the strongest nigga. Like, all right, cool. He's essentially Jesus Christ.
Right.
But the issue is that I think now I feel like we want like the current generation wants like relatable heroes, like heroes that have a flaw or a quirk, or anti-heroes like Deadpool, or they want to see like the heroes that we idealize, they want to see them go bad. That's why you had
Injustice,
something like Injustice. Yeah, you want to see things like, so people like the flawed stuff in modern times. And they have trouble connecting with ideals, probably because our ideals right now are just all over the place, and a lot of us, can't agree on the same things these days. So I think people like, and that's why you see this shift too, where it's like people are like, "Damn, Magneto was right." Like, Magneto's that nigga. It's like all of a sudden,
maybe we
like,
should.
Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe we should, like, fucking,
No,
So,
I think
I don't know.
it is a little tricky because I think that feeling. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but this is a good segue into Fantastic Four, which we have both seen. Is that I do feel like Fantastic Four gave me a glimmer of a feeling that I haven't felt in a while with a superhero movie, where it was just hope.
Okay.
I felt hope throughout that whole movie. I felt like they were really genuinely superheroes, where I was like, wow, look, that's the Fantastic Four. I looked up to them. It's not like most of modern Marvel movies where it's like, yeah, they're destroying half the city and nobody knows what's going on and they're just there. Like, they're not just menaces to society on the side. And it's just like, oh yeah, we did save you from that giant ant attack, but I did cause it, It's a difference. And they addressed the people, they showed love to the people. Like, it just felt hopeful in a sense that I don't think we're going to get out of like most superhero movies still. Even going forward, even like what's the new Spider-Man they just started filming? The new Spider-Man 4 or whatever, like
Brand
that.
New Day or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're already talking about it's supposed to be having Scorpion and the Hulk and the Punisher and all this stuff. I'm like, that's too much. Stop it, guys. First of all, don't even tell me. Shut the fuck up until the trailer comes out. I don't want to see shit.
They're showing so much. I'm like, why? Why are you guys telling us like the whole?
Right. Why am I seeing him on a tank in New York City day one of filming? Just stop. I don't want to see shit. Block off the street so nobody sees. But It is what it is these days. Most people get fun off the clicks of discussing film tweets than they do actually watching the movies.
Yeah, well, because for a good while too, we were getting tired of like the superhero saving civilians. You know, we don't get a lot of those scenes anymore of them like interacting with civilians and like doing all that. And then we moved towards like superheroes fighting superheroes, like Civil War or Batman v Superman, because that's what we wanted. We're sort of done with like, all right, we're done seeing the hero saving stuff. We want to see the heroes go at it with each other. And then because even when you think about Civil War or not Civil War, Infinity War and Endgame, it's like they're all just dealing with each other. Like they're talking to like, I mean, Captain America has the only scene with like civilians, but it feels like it's just the heroes are trying to get the heroes back. Like you don't really feel like they're trying to get the rest of humanity back. It's
you don't even really see like, other than the bus scene with like Peter Parker in the beginning, like when he like gets the chills just for his introduction, like you don't really. It's really just them fighting It's a bunch of superpowered people fighting each other for 2 whole movies straight.
And the drama is like between them and like their relationships, and that's and it's good, and we ate it up, and I think we still would, but I think you kind of have to like go back to like, okay, well, can we go back to the people? And I think honestly, Superman and Fantastic Four both highlight those aspects. If what you liked about Fantastic Four is like that hopefulness, you're gonna also like that Superman is like, I mean, has that in spades as well. I think a lot of people actually like Superman more, but I think it's kind of like a pick your flavor kind of thing, because they're kind of similar in feel on how much they highlight like the saving people, but I don't know. I know
exactly what you're about to say.
I remember distinctly you and me having a conversation about like, I think it was when Shang-Chi came out, and I remember you saying specifically like, nah, like I can't. I think what came out around. I think you were saying that basically you didn't want any more street level stuff. You just want like straight like, high concept like like sci-fi, like straight mythological shit. Like you didn't want to see Black Widow. Like you didn't want. Like you don't want to see the grounded shit. Yeah, like you wanted to see like the cosmic side of everything.
I want to see blades, and now I feel like some vampires. I want to see some fucking. Yeah, like Shang-Chi, he fought a fucking dragon and they was in a different dimension. Right. That shit looked cool as hell. And even then, you still got like the street level of like kung fu a little bit from like the couple fight scenes before he went to the magical realm. But like, I feel like the audience is just kind of just at the point now to where it's like, you can't take us back. Like, like if they made like Daredevil into an actual movie, like people wouldn't enjoy that. You can't take us back to that, bro. I just watched an alien lift a city. No, was that a robot? That was Ultron. My fault. When Ultron lifted a whole city and threw it down, like we can't go back to regular stuff after this.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends. I think you can splinter it. Like I think you can have like your Daredevil street level stuff, and then when the Avengers come together, that's when you have like the this is like a. But I think what they're doing is like every movie at that point started to feel like world ending, like a big alien or a big thing, like Quantumania. Eternals has that sort of thing too, and I'm like, well, the stories kind of feel just less personal now, and then it makes you wonder where the Avengers are at, that this huge thing is happening, and then like Shang-Chi had his whole thing, although that was in like a whole.
That was in a whole other dimension or something. I don't know.
Yeah, dimension. But Doctor Strange had his whole thing. Spider-Man No Way Home had fucking.
That was insane, and nobody was there to help him, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, okay, like I don't know, and I don't know why they always feel like they need to have these like huge stakes, and maybe because it's like that's what people will go to the theaters for. Because if they find out like, oh, it's just Kingpin, and he has like some racket, and the whole plot is Spider-Man or Daredevil,
love
just
that,
like,
bro. If it was just Spider-Man fighting the Sinister Six for a whole movie, not like
multiverse
Sinister Six, just. Street level.
But even then,
yeah,
I feel like the Sinister Six. That's a big thing. Like him fighting the Sinister Six. That's 6 villains.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like Spider-Man 3 could barely have the Sandman 3 villains. Like I don't know if we could, And then Amazing Spider-Man 2 had two villains.
Yeah, I had Electro and
Electro,
Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin, and Rhino at the end and at the
Yeah,
beginning. But I
yeah.
don't know. And
I don't know. I think movies need to learn from the comics. Eh, Let me rephrase that because there's some people that only read like 616 universe and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like there's people that are just reading New 52 right now and are like, nah, we're good. But like
right,
at
right, right,
least
right.
the absolute and the ultimate lines have been amazing. I love what they're both doing to subvert expectations. I love what both of them are doing in terms of changing the structure and the grounding of the heroes. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, Wonder Woman is the most fascinating comic I've read out of all of these. Same with Ultimate X-Men. And Ultimate X-Men is just a bunch of Japanese schoolgirls fighting a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's way more interesting than what they could do with like for example, they're actually like most of the X-Men are alive or active in the Ultimate Wolverine storyline. And that is the most drab, boring, generic, like obvious Wolverine, I mean like X-Men plot, other than the fact that like some of them are dead, some of them are missing or like injured or
Right, right.
stuff like that. But I mean, most of the time it's just what I expect of an X-Men story. Whereas Ultimate X-Men, I feel as though it's getting more into the psychological side, which is a good take on X-Men, especially in a world where superpowers is common and people with powers is common, to now go into the psychological of like what those powers mean to you and what that means and how that affects you and your perception of society, I think is a great step in the X-Men way than just, you know, blanket racism. Or even like,
It's discrimination.
yeah, discrimination. Yeah. So, and like Wonder Woman, she's missing an arm and she's like fighting with demons and like she's from hell. Like that's cool. Bruce Wayne is 6'7" fighting Bane and Joker is like some super. He's like some super villain and he's like controlling Bane and Iceman and all these people. Iceman is a literal like zombie guy. Like that's cool. Lois Lane is a freedom fighter. Well, she's working under Brainiac and she's fighting with Superman. That's cool. You know, Green Lantern is a like fucking cosmic horror right now, bro. Like it's just all of the Green Lanterns and like a green ring and there's an alien Green Lantern that's like judging the main like human like Jon Stewart, Hal Gordon, Guy Gardner. All of them are all like in a like room and like one of them's got the black ring, one of them's got the red ring. Like it's cool to like see the like them trying to learn the mysteries of the Green Lantern or even Martian Manhunter. Like I think seeing a live action absolute Martian Manhunter or seeing a live action even absolute, I mean not absolute, ultimate Spider-Man of seeing Peter Parker as a dad with his son also having the symbiote suit and like seeing the dynamic of learning how to be Spider-Man as an adult while also being a married father, that's way cooler than whatever the fuck is going on in the movies right now.
Yeah. I do think that I think adapting comic books is pretty important and to stay accurate, but something I didn't like about the new Superman movie was that it did feel a little too it felt a little bit too comic booky to me, if that makes any sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, like it felt like, and I guess it felt like it's sort of because like when you're reading a comic book, sometimes when you're just jumping in and it's just like throwing all this stuff at you, and you know you kind of get to read it at your own pace, and you have several issues to kind of flesh things out. I feel like the Superman movie kind of has this issue where it feels like a lot of things are going on that might read better in a comic than it would on screen, because like you feel emotionally different when you're reading something on panel to panel versus like the way it's happening on screen. There's like 3 different things happening in this in Superman, and it also feels very it almost feels like 3 episodes of like Justice League smashed together. You know, like it feels very, it just feels unfocused. And I think it works in the sense that like, wow, okay, you got the best version of this 3 episode smashed Justice League thing that you're doing, but it it feels very comic booky. Like they just kind of like do whatever, and they don't try to like ground anything really. So you don't. So when something spectacular does happen, you never really feel it because it's like, well, people are just like
They just do this all the
I
time.
don't know. There's like they're just kind of doing all this stuff. Like you don't feel the power of Superman, which I think was a kind of a missed opportunity in some sense to really like he just feels like I don't know. Like there's something about the way that the lens of James Gunn and his view on Superman and like the world that is so good as a comic book movie, but it's too comic booky where I'm like, well, I feel like you're kind of losing some of like what makes films so good, like the magic of films. Like,
But that's
you know what I
James
mean?
Gunn
Like,
in a
there's some-
nutshell, though. Because
It is.
even like
It is.
even Suicide Squad, he's got some weird characters in there, but it feels very
Yeah.
comic booky. Like it felt like a Garth Ennis
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
For them, like that beginning scene when everybody dies, it's like, oh yeah, that's Garth Ennis, all right.
Yeah. It feels, it's very. He has a very comic booky style for sure, and that's even. You can see some of that in Guardians of the Galaxy, although I feel like it's a bit more clamped down, but it's still there, you know. And I feel like with the Superman movie, he was sort of unrestricted, and it just kind of feels like you're dropped into a comic book. And I don't think, and as much as I love comic books and I'm a reader of comic books, I just don't think it works well for a film for some reason. Like I don't know, like it's hard to articulate because I'm
I know
not
what you
saying
mean.
that.
I know what you
I'm
mean.
not saying
'cause,
that movies shouldn't be comic book movies, but I feel like it kind of goes too far. Where I'm like, this
I
feels
feel
a
like
little-
so. There's a question for you. What do you think is a good percentage between original for the script for the movie and staying true to the source material that you feel should be? And this applies to video games, movies, anything
Yeah.
that's being turned into a movie. What do you feel is a good percentage of following the source material and taking creative liberties?
I would say probably 70% at like accuracy, 30% because I feel like they're different mediums, so you have to kind of treat them like things that work in comic books don't always work in film. Things that work in film don't work in comic books, and with any other genre or medium. And I feel like you kind of need to adapt it. Like, okay, this a good example is in Deadpool and Wolverine. Wolverine's mask, right? Sure, comic book fans have been wanting to see that forever, and so have I. But then when you get it, you realize you're like,
Oh yeah, that's
this doesn't look that
smash.
great.
Yeah, and they put it on the screen for 20 seconds to go like, you see how ass this is? Yeah, this is
Yeah,
ass,
like they
right?
couldn't they couldn't get it right. And in superhero suits too, like the accuracy sometimes I'm like that doesn't look right. And there's just suits that don't like look like there's fabrics and things that don't look right on screen. They don't look like three-dimensional. You know, that's the thing about film is that you get that three-dimensionality, you get that lifelike, larger than life sort of feel. And I think sometimes some of the things that we accept in comic books because it's, you know, on paper or because it's a medium that we're accustomed to just don't translate well. So that's why I would say probably 70% comic book accurate and then 30% like you can like change things around, if that answers your question.
Yeah,
But
because I was just thinking
and
about
this is
Oh, now continue.
I was just gonna say this is coming from a comic book fan, so it's not like I'm like, no, I fucking hate comic books. They shouldn't be in movies.
I'm not just the
obviously-
MCU nigga. I be really doing
Yeah,
this.
like, yeah, exactly. You know, and so, you know,
Because I think
mean,
about like
I
a
don't.
couple comic books I would like to see either animated or put into like a movie form, like Witchblade and the
Yeah.
Darkness. That would be really interesting to see. Specifically, the Darkness would be really, really fun to see in like a movie. Just seeing like a hard boiled Italian horror movie would be kind of cool. Or
Yeah.
even like there's another comic called Manifest Destiny, which is about Lewis and Clark and their journey through the Louisiana Purchase, but instead of it being like normal it's like minotaurs and mythical creatures, and they fight Bigfoot, and like it's a lawless. It's like Journey to the Center of the Earth, but the center of the Earth is the Midwest.
Yeah,
It's really like that would be so cool to see like in a movie form or anything like that. But I mean, and there's certain creative liberties you have to take with those things, and I don't know. But speaking of costumes, I think that the Fantastic Four and the Superman costumes are the best.
yes, they look good. And you know what? What's crazy? Just like I was just talking about, like how they don't always translate. Those costumes that the Fantastic Four have are in Marvel Rivals now. And me and Elise were going through all the costumes because we like to do that shit. We're always looking at, the character designs, and we were running through, which took us like 3 hours, by the way.
There's too many.
We were sitting, yeah, there was way more than I thought when we had jumped back in. But yeah, the Fantastic Four costumes that are inspired by the movie, they don't look good in the game. They just look so bland, and the texture and the feel of it doesn't work. It's a video game. And you look at the other costumes in the game, those games probably wouldn't work in a real life like adaptation. You kind of have to translate it, There's just some things that don't work, which I just think is really fascinating. But people sometimes don't realize when it's like, it's not comic book accurate. It's like, well, yeah, I mean,
actually, Blade isn't the one that has the. Shut up.
Yeah. Granted, I wasn't a fan of the black suit, like leather X-Men, like look. It became popular, but like I was like, no, what are we doing? Why can't
that shit needs to be yellow?
them,
what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, like they were obviously afraid, and they wanted to have people accept the.
See, I think that might be a generational difference though, because I never grew up with like the '90s X-Men TV shows or anything like that. My X-Men is the Ultimate X-Men, so
black which are inspired by the film. Yeah, and that's sort of the irony, is that they were inspired by the films that made them even more popular, but the true comic book fans hated that look because it was a look that was done because they were embarrassed, right? There was like a time where superhero movies were kind of embarrassing. I was just like, well, we can't have them. People aren't going to take them seriously. But that still boggles the mind, because then we get Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. And
Blade was fire.
Yeah, Blade is. To be fair, Blade's his outfit or his.
He is just wearing. He's just a nigga in a
trench
coat.
It's trench coat. Yeah, he could be in the Matrix. He's like perfect for that 2000s era. But like 1989's Batman or even like Superman, right? They were wearing their comic accurate, suits. But I don't know, for some reason the X-Men, they're like, well, we're gonna have fun. I don't know. Maybe it was just like a edgy time, and they're like, they're not gonna accept this kind of shit. Your camera's gonna fall. Your camera's gonna fall.
Thank you. Now I look at it again, because I had to pull back up to Superman Returns suit, and like, yeah, that shit was kind of ugly. But it's like so
Superman
accurate.
Returns?
Yeah, but it's like so accurate though.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to rewatch that movie, bro. It's been a while since I've watched that movie, bro. I need to rewatch that movie.
It's slow.
All I know is Kevin Spacey, right? He's like
Kevin Spacey's. Yeah, it's a very, very slow movie. I would say watch, because it's basically a direct sequel to Superman 2 from the 80s. So, yeah. Yeah, because I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, this movie sort of depends on your nostalgia for those early Superman movies, because it is a direct sequel. And all the relationships are sort of pre-established, and so you're like, oh, wait, what? Oh, right. He feels this way, or he wants this, or she, so. But yeah, it's also very long. And slow, so. Let's get into some of these questions. Get some of these questions out of the way here. This is from Cade. Cade's our boy. He's always there.
Shout out.
He's crazy. His dedication.
We
just have him as a third member.
Now that I know what Cade's voice sounds like, every time I see his like Discord picture, like I don't know why I just picture him as like an actual dog, like sentient dog that talks like that. That's just playing along with us.
Yeah, I'm very confused about the picture. It's a very interesting. It reminds me of. Was it Sesame Street that had sort of like the dog? I don't know. There was like
no. What was the show? It was on fucking It was on Kid Disney, the Disney Junior or whatever, and it was like the bear in the house, and we would always say goodnight to the moon.
Dude, I love that show.
I forgot the name, but I do remember.
Bear,
yeah.
I think it's called Bear in the Big Blue House, right?
Yeah. That's what it reminds
must be
me of, but like a dog.
Yeah, it's a strange image. Kate, you need to let us know what's going on with that. But he asks, do you guys keep candles around? If so, what are your go-to brands and scents? Which is a very, very funny question.
Yeah, I already answered this technically in the Discord, but my sister does own a candle business. So
oh, really?
Yes, so I have candles. I get all of the reject candles. I get all of the fucked up test subjects and stuff, but I love candles. I used to hate, like, I always get dragged to Bed Bath & Beyond, and I always act like I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be here for, like, the candle sale, and I'm in there like, come on, it's 3 for $17, come on, we gotta get these candles, man. So I fucking love candles. I had a candle lit earlier, but I turned it off because it's almost out. I'm getting into incense and essential oils. I had like a oil diffuser. I need to get a new one because it got all caulked up or whatever during the move. But I love it, man. I love scents. I love bullshit. I hate using Febreze. I'd rather just use a candle and some scents.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that about you, but it's also like, why would I? It's I'm very sensitive to smell. Like I have a very sensitive nose, so like if I go into someone's car and they have like one of those scent things, that shit will like choke me out sometimes. I'm just like, damn, this shit's strong, And it might not be strong to most people, but I think for me, I'm very sensitive to it. I do like a good scent. My partner, Elise, she is very into like candles, and I every time I go to Walmart, I'll buy her a candle. So she'll usually do like the Mainstays brand. But she's not picky as long as it smells good. We go to like TJ Maxx or Ross. Sometimes they have a huge selection of candles and their random brands or whatever. She loves a good candle. We're lighting candles every day. Me on the other hand, just purely from like osmosis, I have candles like in this room because of her. And yeah, she's like a real like she loves perfumes and colognes and sprays. She's very into scents. Listen. And for me, because of my sensitive smell, I'm just like I can't breathe.
That's actually very interesting because I can't really smell like that for real. So like if a candle's like I know a candle's good if I can like smell it.
Like if it's strong.
Yeah, like usually doing the obviously you're going to smell the candle or whatever, but like if I can smell it when I light it, that's a good candle to me. And those are the ones I usually gravitate to. But like, yeah, usually I like my dog farts all the time, and like Devin's like, ugh, and I'm like, I don't smell it.
Cade, you're asking what are the go-to brands and scents. The go-to brand that I can think of off the top of my head is Mainstays, which is the Walmart brand, and it's called Starlit Skies. I like that one, and Elise likes that one, and so that one is one of like the more prominent ones that we buy. But there's also Bed Bath & Beyond has a couple that I can't remember the names of, but they're like really good. I like a good fall candle.
Yes, bro. Everything that comes out in the autumn time from like August to like December, heat at Bed Bath & Beyond.
I need a good like cookie scented one, pine.
You need the Christmas tree
cinnamon, Christmas tree. Exactly. Yeah, I need
a
all
pumpkin
of that.
one. All those, every single one is like amazing. I love all of those. There's also Yankee Candle. Don't sleep on Yankee Candle. Yankee Candle be having them. It's the one that's always in the mall. Yeah, it's like the store. It's like Bed Bath & Beyond's Burger King essentially.
Okay,
that's such a crazy analogy, but yeah, it is. It's just straight candles, and they sometimes have incense there, and elite candles there. Also Walmart. Speaking of Walmart, all of the incense at Walmart, just because they're like $1, and it's like 50 incense in like a little pack for like $1. And if you just light one, it's just enough with the smoke smell and the incense smell that like is just enough to where it's like if you're using it daily like I do, I just when I'm in the morning just light an incense with my coffee and open a window and vibe out. So I mean,
I have two things to say. One is about incense. One is about the different types of scents or the different types of form factors that they come in. So obviously you can get the little candle cubes and you put those on like a warmer, the wax warmers. She'll do that often. I don't really.
It's too much work.
Those, but
yeah, it's too much work. I just like lighting the wick.
Yeah, I noticed that they do have like a really like it's a faster acting smell. Like you can smell it like almost like right away, and it lingers longer. There's something about it that's more maybe effective or just more potent. So we use both candles and also those wax warmers. What we don't use though is incense. I have a really interesting, not interesting at all, but I used to love incense when I was like 10 or 11. Like I was like, Mom, can I get some incense? I had like the whole little holder and all that. Used to love watching them burn, you know. And then, and I remember at the time I didn't know anybody else that liked incense. I remember just being like the only one. I felt like a really like adult. Like I was like, oh yeah, like only adults have incense.
Yes, please.
Yeah, exactly. Felt like I was fucking like smoking a pipe or something. I was like, yeah, this is only like, you know, real niggas ain't fuck with, you know, like. And then I think, I don't know what, 15 years later, got my own place. And I just got tired of incense. Like I just thought, like I didn't like the smell anymore. There's like because they all smell the same, but with something on top of it. It's like there's a core smell. Maybe
yeah,
it's just
the smoke smell. That's usually what I like about the incense is the smoke smell.
Oh, okay.
And then there's always that extra. Yeah, because sometimes you get a shitty incense and you're like, oh, it smells like shit and smoke now.
Also the combination. I used to smoke hookah a lot, and hookah is basically flavored tobacco. So the smoke combination of incense and like the hookah smoke, it just couldn't. I was like, this.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Like it was making me sick, and so I had to give up one. And at the time, I was smoking, hookah. So definitely stopped that, and never went back to incense. And then I asked. And there was one time when me and Elise were pretty early on in our dating, and we were at the store, and I was like, "Oh, should we get some incense?" She's like, "Incense? I don't like incense." And I was like, "Oh, I guess we're never getting incense again. Then I guess that's it."
See, that's funny because my mom has always lit up incense. A little quick tip for everybody: if you got incense, if you got a old candle that you can't like light no more because it's too like you got to reach too far in or something like that, a new incense holder. Just stab the incense into the candle and light it, and then it'll fall into there, and you have a free incense holder. But
free, yeah.
Nah, if incense smelled like cigarettes, if cigarettes smell like incense. Let me rephrase that. I'd probably still be smoking a pack a day. Nah, I think incense is the closest thing to just like being able to vibe. Cause like the smell of smoke is still. I'm sounding like an addict right now. Let me stop.
This is very telling. Please go on. Please go on, son. This is very telling.
Oh,
I need the smoke. You need to be around this. Is it like a nicotine sort of replacement? You know, where it's just like
low key.
I mean, that's
what weed was for a moment, but
like an oral fixation kind of thing where you need like the
yeah.
I get it. I mean, that's better than doing the thing, so...
Yeah, it could be worse. You could be, yeah. Because my dumb ass was like, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes anymore, but I'll smoke weed. That'll be better. No. As I'm learning now, no, it is not. As I, like, come off of it and just being, like, I've been having dreams. And that shit is crazy to me, bro. Because, like, I never realized that, like, weed's... like dilutes your like ability to have dreams. And like, bro, I had this.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, if I was in Naruto, I would be an infinite Tsukiyomi, bro. Like, I would be so susceptible to genjutsus, bro. I had a dream,
Yeah.
and that shit lasted forever, bro. Like, I legitimately was on a road trip in, like, a fucking caravan with a grandma and a little girl. And we kept stopping at every fucking McDonald's, and I would just get a sweet tea, and I would never put a top on the sweet tea. I would just drink it with a straw, and I would just drink it. And we would just sit there and eat. And then we would fucking leave, and then I'd be sitting in the car scrolling Twitter. Like, that was, like, the dream lasted, like, 30 hours, bro. And then I woke up, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, usually when I have dreams, it's normally, like, something silly where, like, the dog looks at me and goes, like, hi. And then I wake up and go, what the fuck? That was weird. And then, like, keep it moving. But, like, that was the first time I had a dream in, like, I want to say a decade where I was like, that was a dream. Wow. Which is crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. Don't smoke, kids.
Let's move on to the next question from Cosmo, another one of our favorite Discord members, who has a YouTube channel and some really great videos. His question is, here's a little hypothetical. If you guys were developers and led your own little studio with no constraints or anything, what kind of game would you make or design? I'm really just curious on what you guys on what your dream game would look like, because I'm assuming everyone here has thought about making a game of their own at one point or another, and it's gone a little beyond stuff like, quote, what if new Star Wars game, but it plays like GTA, unquote.
But that would be fire though.
Yeah, well, wasn't that what?
No, that was what if
Outlaw was.
No, that was what if fucking Star Wars played like Assassin's Creed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a very Ubisoft, like climb the towers, or Watch Dogs. Let me rephrase that. What if Star Wars was Watch Dogs? That's a closer analogy.
Every time I see Outlaw, which is really interesting,
it's probably
looks really
fun as fuck. I'm gonna cop it when it's like $10, bro, or whenever.
Yeah,
they give it away
same.
for
I've
free,
just been
bro.
waiting. I'm waiting for that sale or that like definitive edition that comes with like all the DLC that because it looks. Every time I've seen it, I'm like, this looks like Uncharted meets, like I guess GTA or Ubisoft games meets Star Wars.
People like to rag on Ubisoft games, but listen, bro, it's a formula that fucking works, bro. Sometimes you just want to just log on and just sneak around and backstab people and clear out map markers, bro.
Yes, absolutely. I was never one of the niggas that was like, oh, it's Ubisoft. Like I think
like I know what I'm getting into,
now,
bro.
Yeah, what niggas are doing now with like Souls games, I'm on board with that. Where I'm like, oh, it's a fucking Souls game. That's where I feel like it's the new Ubisoftification, where it's like
Yeah.
But that's only because it's a trend now. Like just like the Ubisoft type checkmark open world thing was a trend, and everybody hated open worlds or whatever. And now it's the whole Dark Souls thing because Elden Ring did so well, and there's a whole.
We'll talk
Souls,
about it when we get into. We'll talk about it later because I got a perfect game we could talk about this for. But I want to hear what your dream. What's your dream game?
So this was actually really hard for me because I've thought about so many different ideas, and so I just try to come up with one on the spot. But I'll talk about my shorter one first, which is an X-Men RPG, turn-based. You play as Professor X, and you play as young Professor X, and the idea is that you're going around recruiting all of the original and like legacy and later X-Men that are that have been in the comics. So you start off with recruiting Jean Grey and Scott, and then Iceman, and you recruit them, but you don't just automatically get them in your party. You have to train them and have them learn like their powers, and that's where like the story kind of unfolds with each character being like a chapter. And so I don't know what the mechanics would be specifically, but I think you can come up with something of, like you're sort of acting like almost like Persona 5 in some sense, where you're Professor X, but you can switch through your X-Men, or
you have your little social links, and then now Scott Summers can shoot a big beam.
Yeah, something like that, and then you would also have the X Mansion, which would be the hub, which would maybe start out as like, I don't know, I guess it was always the mansion, but like you can start building things like, a training room where like maybe you don't want to use Iceman and Beast in your party. So you leave them and they train and they get new abilities as they learn in like the danger room. Or maybe you convert like one of the Brotherhood over. Like just like I think there's a cool RPG system that you could do being Professor X and being like the more powerful one and just kind of guiding the X-Men. I think that'd be kind of cool, like your relationship to them, because Professor X is sort of the core of what X-Men is,
right?
In his philosophy. So it'd be a cool way to showcase all the characters and their relationships and their relationship to you through the lens of Professor X, and it'd be like a turn-based game, like you would maybe I don't know what like the overall, maybe probably Magneto would be like the overall like main villain, but yeah, you just go out and complete missions, and they'd all just be turn-based. Or
you can do it One Piece Odyssey style, because that's one thing I did like about One Piece Odyssey was that you don't really choose what Straw Hats that go into battle with you. It kind of just throws them in, regardless.
Depending on the story?
No, just every battle is just, you'll have a battle and randomly it'll be like Zoro, Luffy, Frankie, or like this battle will be like, and it had like dynamic stuff, right? Events where it'd be like Usopp scared, free Usopp, or somebody hits Nami and Sanji's in, and it'll be like he gets an attack buff or stuff like that. And then like you would defeat one wave of enemies, and then another wave would spawn, and it'll be like 3 more Straw Hats, or like a whole nother party of Straw Hats fighting over here. So it keeps the dynamic of the entire crew. That'll be kind of cool to see with that game. Because I'm imagining Persona, but like X-Men, and that sounds
it would
fun.
Be like heavily influenced by Persona, because that's where I sort of got the idea. But I think I think just like, I guess I don't fully I haven't thought about it fully because I'm not making the game, but that's something like it's always been like a dream game, like just a really in-depth, high quality X-Men game. Or maybe just like make Midnight Suns, but an X-Men version of that. Because Midnight Suns is kind of like that when I think about it.
Yeah.
But Midnight Suns, it's like
the card game part and
yeah, you don't need the card game. Although the card game part does work, I just don't think you would need it.
For the layman person to like click onto that thing, thinking like they're playing like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play as Blade and Ghost Rider, and then they play it and they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. So it can be very confusing. Also, I think a new X-Men Legends game. I like how all my games are just licensed X-Men games.
I just want X-Men games, bro. That's not Destiny. You're having a withdrawal from playing X-Men Destiny that you're like, I am. I need good X-Men games, please.
And then I was thinking of all the elements of games that I like. So I was trying to put something together quickly of a type of game that I think would kind of be cool. And I was like combining all these elements, like from Tomb Raider, Mud Runner, Death Stranding, Silent Hill. I was just like combining all these elements to try to make something.
Fucking
yeah. So like my idea was like, okay, an exploration action adventure simulator, which would be third person. You play as a custom protagonist, and the protagonist is fully customizable. And you can even choose like the animation style of how they walk. And there's like there would be all these presets. You start out in a town like Silent Hill, and in order to figure out what's going on with the town, you have to travel into the surrounding nature, like the surrounding wilds around that town. And each part of that, like of the wilds, are sort of segmented off into different biomes, So it wouldn't be like realistic. So it would be like, it'd be like a forest, and then like only a couple meters away would be like a deserty area, and then like a fucking mountainous area and a jungle and stuff like that, And you kind of get to choose which area of those wilds you want to go in. So maybe the town could be a village. Maybe that would make more thematic sense. And then you're exploring that area, but the challenge of the game would be navigating through that terrain, that specific terrain. So you would need to find equipment that is going to, better help you scale or I guess traverse through that specific environment, whether it be muddy, rivery, watery, rocky, whatever. The point would be to get to this cave, and that cave would house, I don't know, people, the souls,
a dungeon,
of these.
something.
It'd be a dungeon, but not like a long dungeon. It'd just be like you go in, maybe you do some quick thing, a puzzle, and then it unlocks a part of the town. And now the town has like a new feature. Maybe it's like a shop. Maybe it's a clothes shop, weapon shop, armor shop. I don't know.
Hideo Kojima is going to sue us, bro, for leaking Death Stranding 3.
And then you would so the main thing of the game is not that it's a shooter, it's not an action game. It would be a traversal game. So you would have like very realistic animations walking through these various biomes, and also very realistic vehicles. You'd have just the way that Mud Runner has its like mud physics and stuff, like getting stuck on the tires, and you have to kind of like, reverse and put it in gear. Like you would have those sorts of tools at your disposal to get to the cave, to do the puzzle, to then unlock, the next part of the town. So that was sort of like my quick like thinking of like, okay, how can I mishmash some of these things that I really like in games, So yeah, it would have there would be no story, by the way. This is like, there'd be some vague Dark Souls just like, oh, I guess. Wait, what's happening here?
Yeah,
like, it'd be very vague. I don't care about stories too much in my games, but the atmosphere would be rich.
The atmosphere has to be there, though. That's
all. Yeah,
it's very interesting that both of our ideas are pretty much just make a sandbox that's very like workable for the person, because mine is very similar. It's a MMO, of course, obviously, but it'll be dynamic questing. So
you would want to make a massive multiplayer on? Okay,
bro, listen, I thought this out. I thought this out hard. So I want to
free to play.
No.
Battle Pass
subscription. You gotta subscribe to this.
Subscriptions.
You gotta subscribe, so there's no microtransactions or nothing like that. So essentially, I would have dynamic questing and just like world parameters. So, for example, it could rain a lot, and then that causes flooding. They always love to say that, but it never really does that. But I would want, like, the questing to be, like, in the starting town where it's like, oh, like, not everybody gets to kill 10 boars and is, like, the hero of the world and stuff like that. Like, you might spawn in and your friend had killed 10 boars, but then the boars was kind of depopulated, so now you got to go out there and chop some trees down or scout this area or...
Okay.
Go hunt some poachers and stuff like that. And then I would try to appeal to different sensibilities of players. So, like, for example, I would love for player-run towns and businesses to be a big factor in the game. So I want inns to be the main, like, hub where people, because that's where adventurers go to, that's where you go, you get your ale. So there would be like cooking, like Star Wars Galaxy, I think, had this, where like the cantina, so you could go there, you get your buffs, you would watch dancers and get buffs, and that would help you out when you go out there. So then you can have somebody that breeds horses or goes out and collects animals to sell to people that are trying to be aspiring hunters. Or the end could be the place where somebody goes like, hey, I don't feel like going out there and getting this rare crafting material. I'm going to put a quest up with a reward. The person does the quest, sends it in. I can get it like an adventurer's guild kind of thing, to where it becomes dynamic, where it's like, hey, I'm a builder. I need 100 cobblestone or whatever like that. You go out there, get the cobblestone, bring it to me, and then I'm just a player. I like just constructing buildings, so I have a construction guild. Me and my guild, we build buildings for people in the towns because we have the best skills. Or like, I'm the best cook, so I'm working at this and this guy pays me because I give the best buffs. A lot of people come in, he gives me a cut of the check, because I think Arcade solidified that feeling for me when I was a fisherman. I spent all my time building a fishing boat, and I had to hire a mercenary guild, and I was like, I'll give you guys 10% of the cut. All you guys got to do is just stand out in the water and protect me from pirates that would come and try to kill us. And then we would just fish all day, return to fish, and it led to very dynamic times because pirates would come and we'd have to fight them off together and navigate through the seas. So amplifying that feeling of player cooperation, because I feel like they try to always railroad it to where it's like, oh, we're doing dungeons or we're doing raids or guild or PvP, but it's like, okay, what if we had a system where there was bounty hunters. You PvP a lot. Okay, you have a bounty on your head now, or somebody takes your stuff, so now you put a bounty on their head. Okay, I'm a bounty hunter. I'm going to go out and I'm going to hunt that player, and I'm going to confirm that bounty, or I'm going to be a guard for this town. There's another MMO, Face of Mankind. That was the same situation where it had like player run factions to where like the players were the police officers and they had to maintain. Like I remember vividly going to police school in a video game and learning and getting a baton and having to stay with somebody as a partner and like going and doing tickets and stuff. Like imagine a whole world where the world was more than just dungeons and raids. Like somebody was the map maker that led to the dungeon. Somebody was the person that, like, you know what I'm saying, was we need somebody to dispel this spell so we can get into this dungeon. Okay, I got the best skill. So like, and also there wouldn't be classes. There wouldn't be like you spawn in and I'm a level 1 warrior. You would go to like a specific school and learn those skills. So it'd be like, okay, I went to the warrior school and I learned a little bit so I can now equip this or do this or whatever like that. So you can mix and match. If you want to be a paladin, you go to the paladin school, but then you decide, I don't want to be a paladin. You still got some of those skills, but then you went and became a mage or a healer or something like that. So you can amalgamate everything like that. It would be interesting to see because Albion tried that with like their towns, but then like they just became super like there's taxes involved and it's very clusterfuckery-esque. But if there's a way to allow for players to do the menial tasks that NPCs are doing, that would allow for the world to feel more virtual, more open, and would allow for more casual players to play that don't want to raid and do dungeons and in-game content like I do, and just want to just vibe in the world. You can vibe in the world by just being the tavern guy. I would love to be the tavern owner. That'd be way cooler than being the dungeon guy.
Wow, that's deep. Yeah, I feel like that would just be a second life. But
I guess MMOs exactly. Sort of have that. That's exact. Yeah. Now you get it. I'm not here for. If I wanted to do anything that I could do in a video game, I would just go play. Like I said in my video, any other AAA game nowadays. I could just play. I can play any AAA game if I want hard content, if I want detailed worlds, crafted stories, beautiful graphics. Anything MMO players say that they like MMOs for, I can get out of any AAA game. Way better. Okay. Way better crafted. Without the annoyance of some guy being like, your build's fucked up. Why don't you have this best in slot gear? Shut the fuck up.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's the next evolution of MMOs. Like, in order for MMOs to really genuinely compete, especially in the world where live service games like Fortnite and Marvel Rivals and shit like that exist, it needs to expand on what made those games appealing in the first place, which was being the novelty of communicating with people on the internet and community. So you need to somehow amplify that feeling of community, and the only way to amplify that is to make everybody need everybody to do everything.
Interesting. Yeah, that's I like all those ideas. I don't like the social aspect.
But see, if you don't like the social aspect,
you're not playing the game. Like,
yeah, exactly. Go play some other shit.
I feel like all those mechanics are cool. Like I like that, you know, and I would like. I kind of was reminded of some of like the small things that Dragon's Dogma implemented in Dragon's Dogma 2. You know, like finding, you know, like when you find the Thief's Guild and you have to kind of like go through the test and to get your mastery of it. You know, I like those things, and I think with AI, I think there's going to be a bit more complex, like NPC interactions when you know, when AI starts to be implemented in video games, and it will be implemented in video games at some point. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that is. Is there anything close to that? Because I almost remember you talking about a game that had something like this, or it sounded very familiar.
I think about like certain games like Mabinogi, Star Wars Galaxies. Those are very formative games for me when I think about.
What about Eve? EVE Online, is that what it's called?
Yeah, EVE Online is another example. EVE Online, Face of Mankind. Those are games where like you hear more about the shit that happens while playing EVE Online and like the chaos and like multi-year long plots of espionage and subterfuge. Right. Like that's what I'm trying to build, but in like a grounded, not spreadsheet setting. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
like just imagine, like you said, like a thieves guild. Like imagine people uncovering like, oh, there's a legit thieves guild, and like they're a secret organization, or like a hitman squad, or like this guild's been hiding this dungeon that nobody knows about because there's no way to data mine the game or something like that without being banned. So like they've been hoarding all of these resources and selling them to get the best gear or something like just making dynamic stories like that would be way more like cooler than just we did the raid and it came out in the new patch.
I want to take a little. I want to extend Cosmo's question to, or maybe retract it. But has there ever been a game where you're like, I want a game, like maybe you didn't like the whole game, or maybe you did, but maybe there's a part of the game, like maybe a specific mechanic or something where you're like, I could just do this. I just want this part of the game. Like I want a whole game just on this mechanic. And don't say Gwent either.
My favorite game of all time is Sonic Adventure 2. Not
don't
because
say Don't
yes,
say the
yes, yes, because it's
God
not
damn
because
it,
of Sonic.
I think I know you more than.
I just love raising Chow. Bro, I literally started on my GameCube before this for another question that's coming up. And I had to look at my hours, and I was like, damn, I put 200 hours on one save and 130 hours on another save. And most likely, it's all because of Chow. That's all I'm going to say. All you need, but I've realized because there are some games that are being made. There's like I think 3 projects that are being made right now, like where it's like Chow Gardens. Like they're just trying to expand that into like an actual game. And I do realize that yes, while the Chow Garden is a very like cool concept, it's only cool because it's slotted into a really fun Sonic game. Like when I'm looking at these like fan projects and indie games that are Chow Gardens, I'm like, but like, what do you get for money? Like, because in Sonic Adventure 2, I play a fun Sonic stage or a metal or a tail stage or I do a treasure hunt stage. I do fun stages in order to get gold and animals to do the Chow stuff. But if I'm not having a really good game on top of that, then
right.
I think
that's hard for me to answer. But I just thought of something where there's 2 mechanics that I think would go well together. So there's a game called Expeditions by the Mudrunner franchise called Mudrunner Expeditions, and basically in that game, you're exploring specific areas with your vehicle, and you're creating base camps to establish an expedition, and you're sending out drones, and you're like measuring like size, like you're doing a lot of scientific stuff, but it's all conduits for you to drive around in your car, navigate, hard terrain. Right. Combine that with like Tomb Raider's Tomb Raiding, like where you're driving to your destination, and then you're setting up camp there, and then you're going inside the tomb and doing all the Tomb Raider stuff. I think that'd be like a very holistic, cool, complete, like this is the exploration game. Like this is it.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool. With no MMO bullshit. You know what? I can't remember. As much as I played Sonic Adventure, the first one, I don't remember really messing with the Chow mechanics.
Because nobody messes with the Chow in Sonic Adventure 1. They don't even evolve, bro. I can't make a hero. Okay, so the second game is when you can make like a hero flying running Chow and all that shit. So like that's where it gets fun. And you got Chow Karate, and like the races are way more, because you have more agency in the races. I think in the first game you can't even do shit. Like when the Chow race, you just throw them in there and you go, yay! But like Sonic Adventure 2, you can actually like speed boost them and like cheer them on and shit like that. It's way more interactive. So plus there's like a lot more races, and they can evolve, they can resurrect, they can they expanded it a lot.
The next question is from Community Splash, another OG. He's always there on our videos, day one. Sorry, Cade. He's the first comment all the time. Him and Ned.
He's first.
He's somehow. he asks, talk about how making movie reviews on TikTok has been going. I'll go through that real quick. So I've been doing movie reviews on TikTok, and I haven't posted any in the Discord, but I have quite a bit now, and it's been difficult. It's so hard. For one, TikTok really seems like a certain personality type. Like, you need to have a I think I'm just too slow and deliberate and like thoughtful in how I talk about everything.
You're
And
not
so
giving people
TikTok
a synopsis of the movie. That's your issue.
Yeah, like I'm just not. I mean, some of my videos do well, but like, you know, you want them to be short, you know, and sometimes they can be too long, and I don't know. It's I do feel like it's difficult, but I've been trying to create like 2 minutes or less, like a quick review on something, and just trying to do it with like, you know, my like trying to have some style about it, because most people, if not everybody on TikTok, just takes their phone camera and films themselves wherever. Like, it's just a selfie. Like, yeah, that's it. Some people have a setup. Very few. I think, yeah, very few people have a setup. And other people just do a green screen of the poster of the movie and put themselves over it and then just yapping. And it's like 50,000 likes. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now, I'm over here putting some effort into the way it looks. You know,
Got some cinematography going on and shit.
Exactly, you know, having some style with it, and then, you know, 60 likes. So, but I think my channel's growing, and you know, I'm still invested in it. Also, I found out that I've been posting what I post on TikTok on my Bendez Productions, which is sort of like my videography portfolio YouTube channel, and they've been taking off on there, getting like 3,000 views and like a lot of likes as well. And people have been commenting like, how does this channel not have more views? These are so like great, high production and great commentary. And I'm just like, well, it's probably because I have my other like videography stuff on here, so the algorithm's fucked up.
Please.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't think that these would take off on YouTube the way they have been. But yeah,
so
I've already gotten
like, I need to make shorts every time I beat a game,
yes,
and just be like, yeah, bro, that shit was ass.
Yeah, you honestly, you could. I'm so honestly, I get jealous, you know, or a little just annoyed how these low effort videos, you know, just someone being like their stupid hot take, yeah, Dark Souls 3 is ass or whatever, you know, and then it's like 30 seconds.
This game doesn't have a gun or a ball in
views.
it. It sucks. I don't know. I feel like my pride wouldn't allow me to just pick up the camera and record, bro. Like, I would have to do something more, bro. Like, I have to. Like, mentally, I would like. Same. Like, I gotta go in a little harder than that.
It's so hard for me, and I try to do like my reviews. I try to do them more production, but then like I'll do maybe quick thoughts in between of me just on my camera, and even then I don't do that consistently because I feel so deterred, like, of just doing like low effort content, you know, and showing that off and being like, oh, look at my TikTok, and it's just me talking and people like it, and I'm just like, that where's the craftsmanship, where's the style
type shit,
you know,
type shit.
And you know, that's just me, but it makes it very difficult. But I think it's been going well. Community Splash and Neb always want to have meetings to see how things are going. They want me to post several times a week. They're like, I was joking with them.
They're your success coaches.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are kind of sounding like a board of directors. Like, I need to report my stats and be like, all right, well, how are we doing on? Like, they really want
these numbers, man. We need to up these numbers.
Yeah, they want me to like create, like they want me to do fast content, you know, and I'm just like, I can't. Like, I'm too methodical.
Like, I've already, I can't.
I saw Together and Weapons this past weekend. And technically, everybody already had the reviews out. And I'm like, I need to sit down. I need to think about what I thought about the film. I need to write a script. I need to set up my camera. How am I going to do this? What am I going to show?
What shirt am
Some
I
niggas
gonna
are just
wear?
like, some people straight out of the theater, like,
in the
here's
car.
my reactions. In the fucking car. And then it's like, oh, 70,000 likes and 1 million views. I'm like, oh, well, okay. And then so I don't know. It's really interesting. It's really I feel like TikTok is definitely like don't try. Just don't try. Just say what you want and just don't even try. Don't bother. Because nobody cares that your shit looks the nicest. If you don't have like a hook like that's like I fucking hate if you don't have something that's like will cause outrage.
This movie is about this thingy bubber right here. I'm going to talk to you guys like this, and you're going to listen to me on TikTok. What's the...
Yes.
Yeah. I remember I saw somebody say that about, like, I watched a food review where somebody was like, this is an underrated spot in D.C. It's called Ben's Chili Bowl. And I'm like, nigga, what? Nigga, that's the most famous spot in the city. What are you talking about? Man.
Yeah, yeah. And then you can tell, like, there it is... I'm gonna sound old, but you know I'm gonna embrace my age. I do feel like there's a lack of wisdom on TikTok. Nigga, some kids be talking about games and movies, and I'm like, you guys just don't know. Like, you guys weren't there. You're complaining about shit that you guys like terrible takes. Clearly haven't played many games or seen many movies. You know.
Yeah, and then they just they run
like,
with this shit, bro. And I feel you. Because I've seen the discourse right now for Mafia: The Old Country, and they're like, why isn't this open world? Why can't I swim? Well, this isn't realistic. And I'm like, oh, God, bro. Are we at this age now where niggas complain about open world games, then they don't get an open world game, and they're like, why isn't it open? I don't know. The kids don't know what they want, bro. They won't know what they want until somebody on TikTok tells them what they want. That's the issue.
Yes, that is the issue. Also, I really do not want to explain the synopsis of a movie. I don't want to sit there and be like, I watched Together this weekend, and it's about this, and like, I don't do that. That's something that I don't do. I try not to do. I just go in with my thoughts.
You know, I think that's respectable because I feel like as a critic, you should respect that the audience is already well aware and informed on the piece of work that you're critiquing.
Exactly. That's my assumption, but I feel like because some people, I guess it makes sense, like if you want to get people that haven't seen the movie and maybe like saying like, oh, this movie is, you know, stars Dave Franco and this person and it's about this, maybe they'll be more interested to watch the rest of the review. But I'm like, that takes up like a whole minute explaining what the movie's about and who's in it, and I'm just like,
I could just be talking about the movie. Yeah, I feel you on that because like one thing I think, but also the kids have grown up on YouTube where they feel like they've played a game by watching somebody make a video essay about a game. And the video essay is like we were just talking about this with the Spider-Man nigga. But like I was binging all his shit and I realized that like these 2-hour long retrospectives is just an hour of him like doing a synopsis of the story and adding in like what comic book references they are, and then it's like the last 30 minutes of the video is actually talking about the video game. And I'm like, that's not I don't care about the story, bro. Talk to me about the game. Like the story is for you to enjoy. Like that's why I try my best to just shut the fuck up about stories. It's even like during Back of the Rack, because it's like, I mean, we talk about the game, but like we mainly are talking about the game, the presentation. That's really what I care about. If you care about the story, and I do care about the story most of the time with these games, it's just that I would rather you experience a story than experience it through us. We might spoil some shit, but at least experience it yourself.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. And I keep thinking about like all the time I spend like editing and posting these things, and I'm just like, maybe I should just make a fucking video essay. But I guess it is nice because now I get to talk about movies, whereas we were just doing video games. So that's kind of nice. But you know, sometimes when you put so much effort into something and you make it look cool and you're somewhat proud of it, and it's like a 2-minute video, and then you put it on TikTok, and then it's like, and TikTok is like ruthless. If your video isn't, if it doesn't like get like more than 100, 200 in like the first 15 seconds, like you're doomed. Your video's gonna stay at like 300 views and it's not pushing it. And I'm just like, cool, that's awesome. You know, at least with like YouTube, it's like there's some like longevity. You can put the video up. It might not like get traction like that hour, that first couple hours, that day even. You know, it might get traction the next day or the weekend.
Yeah.
TikTok, if it doesn't get that traction like there, that's a dead video.
It. Yeah.
It's brutal.
It is.
So that's okay. I mean, that's what I signed up for, so I don't know why I'm fucking complaining about it. Then Community Splash goes in to talk about, do you have anything from your childhood that you regret selling or getting rid of? Like for me, I got rid of some really good Yu-Gi-Oh cards twice, which is fucking sounds hilarious. Now I've been trying to collect the ones I got rid of. How do you get rid of the same cards twice?
I understand.
I mean, at that point,
that's why I stopped collecting like physical card games. Like even like the One Piece card game came out, and I bought like a couple booster packs like for the first set, and then I was like, what am I doing with my life? And I just stopped, and I was like, I'm not gonna play these. These are just gonna take up space. I'm good. Okay. I'm a digital card game guy myself because of that same situation, bro. I used to have decks, bro. I used to be like one of them niggas in like high school that would like pull up to school and be like,
yeah,
after school, bro.
I can already imagine.
I used to be locked in. I used to have my shit ready, but now, nah, bro. Fuck all that, bro. I'm not talking with no nigga in real life about Yu-Gi-Oh. Nope.
Yeah, that's kind of. I think for me it would probably be. I mean, I had so much. So many things I had to trade in because I was getting the new thing.
Yeah.
So I had every Silent Hill game at one point, and as I'm sure everybody knows, those games are worth like $300 each, and I sold them. I never even thought that these games would be become rare. You're just a kid; you don't really know like what the value or the economy, the demand, and like you just don't know about that. I also had a GameCube, a silver one that I had. It was my first console that I got when I was. I think my mom got it for me when I was 13, and I wish I kept that because that had a lot of sentimental value, being like the first console my mom got me. And then my original PSP as well. One that was a hand-me-down from a friend in my neighborhood who gifted it to me for my birthday. I think it was like 11 or something. Or wait, no, a little bit older. It was probably around the time I got the GameCube. And sold that shit. So I literally ended up my adult life with none of my like nostalgic items. And now here I am in this room.
Desperately collecting all of that shit from my childhood. Yeah. That's the same way.
A lot of things.
I'm glad that I got my GameCube collection, which I feel like is I'm only missing really like one game. I only really want like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the trilogy of beat 'em ups, and Tony Hawk Underground 2 and Beat Spikers. Like that's it. Like
those aren't even. That's totally obtainable. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm good with like all of my GameCube games, and I'm glad that I got them when I got them because like now, bro, like Def Jam is like $200, bro. Fucking like half of these GameCube games is like 80, 90. I'm like, I'm not paying that for fucking Coliseum. No, you can suck my dick. I'll emulate that game. No, like that. I literally just did that with like PlayStation 2 games where I was like, let me download the ROMs for the games that I would play, but are way too expensive. So all the Silent Hill games, fucking Bujin Guy. Like I would get a copy of Bujin Guy if I caught it in a while, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to pay for fucking Blood Will Tell or Kuon or Siren or Rule of the Rose. Like I'll just emulate it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need it. I don't need a physical copy of every game.
No, especially because you haven't played. I mean, as much as I would like to have a physical copy of like, like Haunted Grounds or Clockwork Tower 3 or something. I didn't play Haunted Grounds. Because it was always actually that game was always expensive, even when I was younger. I remember being like, this game's like $120. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I just wait. Where do you're emulating on PC?
Yeah. So I downloaded all the ROMs and I uploaded them to my Steam Deck, so I'm playing them. I have them all on there just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, plus it's like older
the only
systems where I'm like, I'm not trying to play those. Like fucking Dreamcast and all that shit. Like I would play them, but I'm not about to buy them. Hello? I did want my Wii U back though. Just because.
That's crazy.
Okay, listen. I love the Wii U, bro. When I moved away from my dad, I left my Wii U.
and the only things I brought with me was Dragon Quarter, fucking Ratchet and Clank 1, and Persona 3 FES. Like, I just stuffed all that in a backpack and was like, I'm out of here. And then I dipped. And I didn't think, oh, yeah, let me pack the Wii U. And he sold that shit immediately. He's like, whoa, he's not here. I'm going to sell this shit.
Immediately? That's crazy.
I came back down the next summer like, hey, where's my Wii U? And he was like, oh, yeah, I sold that shit, bro. So, yeah. I mean, there wasn't anything on the Wii U that isn't ported over that I would... Devil's Third was probably like, but that's just out of morbid curiosity of like now, because like back when I played it, I was like, wow, this fucking sucks, and traded it in. But like playing that game now that I've like played more games and understand like it's okay to like shitty games, yeah, I just want a copy of that game, honestly.
It makes sense why your taste is the way it is, because you were just playing.
I was playing ass, bro. I played ass all the time.
Garbage. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. No, I mean I played a lot of ass too, but your taste sometimes I'm like.
But see, okay, I'm a masochist in the way that I love, like when I sense that a game is ass, there's like a and then I get like happier to play more of it compared to other people that go like, oh no, I'm done playing it. Like I get excited, so I don't know.
Crazy. Your boy Yosid. Is that how you say it? Josid?
Josie? He said it in his last video, and
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and I made mental note of like, oh, that's how you say that, and then yeah.
Is it different than how I say it? Josid?
I think it is just Josie. I think it is just Josie.
So he asks, favorite record so far this year. I mean, we're 8 months in, so I mean, there's been a lot that's come out. I'm going to say, oh wow, you put a lot. I only have one that I can think of immediately, and that was one of my favorite indie bands is called Stereo Lab, and they're like alternative rock, lounge, pop kind of sounding. They're from France, but their latest album, which is called Instant Holograms on Metal Film, came out. They hadn't released an album in 15 years, so this was a very special. Yeah, this was a very
this is your
they're
older access memories.
Yeah, this was this definitely was a really solid album. It's not like it's not my favorite of their albums, but it was nice to hear music from them, and they had there's some great like grooves on there. And I'm gonna shout out Wet Enough, Dancing People Don't Cry, just because that album was also really cool. Like
also a French band
that came out this year. Yeah. They are French.
Also a French band.
And I guess I'll also shout out the new Clips album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, which was pretty solid. But those are the only ones that I can think of this year.
Yeah, I had to
listen to a lot of music.
Moment right there. No, I had to go through my recently added albums to check and see like what even came out this year. Like I was just scrolling like, oh yeah, I did like that album. 2025? Okay, cool.
So did I. I had to go through my shit as well. I listened to a lot of soundtracks and orchestral stuff. But for some reason, it's weird to say like, "Oh, I liked the, Thunderbolts record."
Expedition 33 official OST. Fuck no.
Yeah. And I've listened to a lot of video game stuff. Like in the past 2 years, I've been like going crazy. I listen to so much video game music, like it's unbelievable. And it's gotten to the point now where I'm so disconnected from what's happening and like. Not that video game music is not real music, but like in popular mainstream music that sometimes like what artist is happening, or like I've hung out with friends and they're like, oh, what have you been listening to? I'm just like, I don't have a new art. Like I've just been listening to fucking the soundtrack to
Aquatic
007
Mind.
Bloodstone on PS3.
No, same. Like it's at the point now to where like like my mix on YouTube Music and shit. Like now when I click it, it's just nothing but video game music. It doesn't, and then it'll be like an occasional like T.I. song or something like that. Like it is.
Yeah.
It is nothing but video
It's
game
insane.
music, at least on YouTube. Yeah, What Enough? Dancing People Don't Cry. That is my album of the year so far. Still very early contender. Hasn't changed, not one bit. There's been a lot of ones that made me go like, oh, but that's the one I've consistently listened to. Listen to that album pretty much at least once a week. It's amazing. I love it front to back. It's no skips. It's straight. Same with this is kind of just like an honorable mention more than it is like all of these. Then like this is my favorite record. Rico Nasty Lethal. That's a really good album. Front to back once again. Kind of falls off a little bit towards the end. But if you're just listening to it front to back, it does hit a little bit. But just sonically, the way that the beats sound, everything is just good. Same thing with Gold Link's Enoch. That one might be his best album. It might be his best album. Like it's that second song with Matt McGee on there. It's might be top record of the year. Matt Johnson, Warrior Princess. I think you should listen to this one. Matt Johnson, Warrior Princess. It's a jazz kind of swing, kind of funk. It's a little bit of everything. It is. It's a vibe. The first song, you'll know the entire vibe. As soon as you play the first song, you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm in here for it. It's
Matt
and then
Johnson.
Paris, Texas. They Left Me with the Sword. That's an epic right there. That is an epic from front to back. It just sounds like chaos, but in a good way, and I love it.
Wait, what?
Paris, Texas. They Left Me with the
Paris,
Sword.
Texas.
Yeah. There's a couple other records, but they're mostly like I would really call
That's a
like
cool name.
there's a couple records like Veda. She dropped an album. It's I forgot the name of it, but anyway. But yeah, Veda is a really good album. There's a nigga from Atlanta, a young nigga named Skate Star. He's been my guilty pleasure. I've been going on. I was telling you about this the other day, where it was like midnight, and I've just been going on binges of like cities and like regions, where like I'll like listen to an artist from a city or a region, and then I'll just be like, let me look up the top young artists or upcoming artists or whatever like that from this city, and just going through it. But like usually YouTube would do that for me. You know, you click on one person and then all the related videos is going to be everybody, and you just go through it all. And I just be clicking everything and just listening and being like, that was good. That was ass. Whatever. And you find some shit, man.
I mean, you're the only friend I think that really will. You're like my link to hip hop right now.
but you don't like auto-tune,
you-
so this makes it hard.
Yes, I do not like.
Everybody uses auto-tune, bro. You got to get used to it.
That isn't. That is not true. Actually, I listened to a Slick Rick album the other day, an older one from 1995, because I hadn't listened to any Slick Rick at all. Like I've heard him on songs, but I'm like, what does he make his own shit? So I went back and listened to him, and I was like, this is cool. But,
Was it the one with children's story and all that on there?
I think so.
Was it like a cover
No,
when he was
hold
like
on.
falling or some shit?
It's from 1995. What's the name?
That might be the album right there. I'm thinking that might be the album. Oh, that's from 1988.
No, it's called
Never
it's
mind.
called Behind Bars.
Yeah, I don't know that shit. I know the Great Adventures of Slick Rick. I know that one.
Yeah, I was gonna go through his like entire just not film discography just to like familiarize myself with him.
Greatest
But, yeah, I
British
thought it was
rapper to
pretty
ever
cool.
drop, bro.
What was the Joey Valance and his boy and Bray?
Yeah.
I think they had.
That was last year, though.
Last year.
Yeah,
yeah.
but that was a really good. Joey Valance and Bray in general, they give me Beastie Boys vibes in a good way.
Yeah. They
Just
did a
having
song
fun with
with a couple people. I think Vince Staples, and then they did
Yeah.
one with JPEG, I think.
And they
JPEG
did one with
Mafia.
IDK as well.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I like them a lot. But yeah, you be sending me some shit. I think you send me a lot of good stuff. for sure. But sometimes when you send me something auto-tune, I'm just like, I just cannot deal with it.
All right, listen.
Like, no matter the... No, it's just so hard for me. Like I'm just
listen. This for my Discord gang, bro. I'm gonna just start posting shit in there, bro. Cause you're in the homie Discord, so like you'll see. I post a very starkly different tone of music in the niggas Discord versus our Discord. Our Discord, I'm like, how relatable. I can get this. I'll send this over. This is a good album.
Right.
I'll send some shit over. But like the other one, I'll be sending the Zucchini, Mary Kate, fucking. I can't look at Discord right now, but yeah, I'll be sending the straight like the shit that was scared of hoes.
Really? With auto-tune? I feel like the hoes love auto-tune. No,
I'm saying like I'm sending trap. Like I'll shoot a nigga trap up. Like that's the shit I'll be sending in the other Discord. What other songs? I just put some songs in there. I got you right now. I got Mexico Dro. We got some. We got straight Brockhampton. BK the Ruler.
Brockhampton, are they doing auto-tune now?
Brockhampton isn't even a thing, but I did find this one group. I linked it to you. It's like Brockhampton, but it's like all straight guys instead of gay guys. And like,
was Brockhampton a bunch of gay niggas? I thought only
yes,
one of them
bro. Wait, oh yeah, it was only one of them, but that's just a joke. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I did check out that song. I forgot to tell to respond it to you, but I was like, wait, I was because you say.
Yeah, sometimes I'm talking
you
some
say things,
slang.
and I'm like, what are you saying? Like, or I feel like sometimes you have a stream of consciousness that you just put onto our Discord, and I'm like, did I miss something? What are you talking about? It's not even how you say it. It's just like you just put a comment, and I'm like, wait, I wasn't there. I'm not there in person with you. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, give me some context.
I do be talking like we just be talking, like.
Yeah,
the way I type is the way I talk, so I just be like, yeah, bro, we just bro, yeah.
And I'll be like, wait, what are we yang about? I don't understand. You're like, oh yeah, it's this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
what the fuck is this? Why did you just link me, bro?
Yeah, no context. I'm just like
3 a.m, just here you go.
Yeah. Next question is from Aussie ABC.
Yeah.
Is that one of your homeboys?
No, he joined from BOTR Radio, I think, actually. So shouts out to him for BOTR Radio. Speaking of that, I've been working on a mix, like a legit.
I want to add a mix too,
like a legit mix. But
nice.
I've just
yeah. We've been
some
getting
of these songs, man. The quality is hard.
So he asks, how does the amount of hours you put into a game correlate to either the game being good or the game is your favorite? Like, is your most played game your favorite game? Why or why not? So what I did was I just went through my PlayStation profile to see like what my most played game is, because that's mainly where I play. And a couple of my favorite games of all time are on that list. So Metal Gear Solid 5, 250 hours. I think that might be a little inflated because I remember I was using like remote play on my PS Vita, I believe, at the time.
Oh God!
And it would like, and it was actually like fine for the time, right?
Yeah.
But I think it wouldn't put the PlayStation into like if I was like at work and I put it down, it wouldn't put it into rest mode. It would just keep the game on, and so I think some hours racked up on there. Division 2, 234 hours. Division 2 is absolutely one of my favorite games of all time. So I think that does correlate. Monster Hunter Wilds, I know that's a recent game, and I always feel like when somebody says like Superman is now my favorite movie of all time, I'm like,
Expedition 33 is one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Stop.
I'm like, can we say that? It's only been out for a month.
It's really good, guys.
Anyways.
Okay.
Persona 5, I put 150 hours into that.
But that's like the minimum.
Not one of my. Yeah, exactly. It's not one of my favorite games, but I do have a fondness for that one. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is one of my favorite games of all time, 150 hours. And then Final Fantasy Type 0 as well was an honorable mention for one of my favorite games ever. That's 132. So I do believe that although I think your list will be more interesting because while you have almost 400 hours in Marvel Rival, or I'm sorry, 300 hours in Marvel Rivals, that's not your favorite game.
No, not at all.
They just happen. That's the nature of the game, right?
Yeah,
and your addiction to it.
Listen, I think that's also why I play a lot more single player games now. Is because I realized that I had a problem as I look. Because if you scroll it down a little bit, I did.
What's your Fortnite look like?
I'm scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time I checked, that dream was at like 4. I think it said like 400. I want to say the last time because I know, bro. 2K24. I put like 200 hours into that shit, bro. Like, I realized like multiplayer games took 8. As you can scroll down and see, like that's I think my top 8, 7, 12 or whatever on Steam, and then like at least the ones that I manually tracked on like backlog. That's like the top 8, 6 games or whatever like that. But like, 400 hours into Master Duel, and that's not accounting for I have it on my phone as well too. It's like my go-to game on my phone. If it's not AFK Journey, it's Master Duel. So it's probably
you're still playing AFK.
Yeah, I'm too deep, bro. I'm too deep.
I thought you had. Did you stop and then pick it back up? Or
I picked it back up, and then they have like a returner. So like I've been playing it ever since, and like now I got like a bunch of maxed out characters. So I'm just like, oh man, I'm feeling good, man. And I ain't put $1 into this shit. I feel good. So
I thought it was fun when we were playing that zombie one. And
I wish it was.
They ended it.
Man, I wish it was still alive, bro. That was probably the most fun gacha I've ever played, bro. It had cool. All the right things.
I like
the character.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was like nice, and I liked that it felt premium too because the characters were like closer to the camera. I hate when like that's what I didn't like about AFK. It's like it's so far away. I'm just like
all the way back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like I can't see. I want to see my character do the thing. I don't want to.
And even then, it got to a point, even with like Undead, where like I felt like I really had to genuinely like understand each character, like not just their ultimate, but like every move that they used and like what their passives and stuff were. Yeah, and like seeing it and maneuvering the characters, it's a lot different. I don't know, but anyway, I put in like 300 hours in the, like you said, Marvel Rivals, PUBG, Brawlhalla. Elder Scrolls Online, I know I put more hours into that because I believe I switched from Steam to the regular ESO launcher or something like that to like use add-ons or something like that. Nuclear Throne, that does check out because Nuclear Thrones is one of my favorite games. It's probably like top 25. It's not top 10 or anything like that, but it is like one of my favorite. Risk of Rain 2. Surprisingly 100 hours in Warframe, which is surprising to me, but I mean it makes sense.
Why do you have 2 different Baldur's Gate?
And I thought about that because I swear I put way more hours in the Baldur's Gate 3 than like 87.5. I think that's the thing with Steam is that like you'll finish like even now with like Vampires the Masquerade, it says I only had like 26 hours in that, and I'm like, bro, I know I spent like. There was a couple of days where I woke like, because I work 7 to 3, and there's some days I woke up and was like the entire work shift I was playing Vampires. I'm like, ain't no way, bro. Like I just did just that. But I would say Baldur's Gate is up there. And like I said earlier with like Sonic Adventure, I have hundreds of hours in the Sonic Adventure, and it's my favorite game of all time.
Right.
I think what it is that certain games just take a lot longer to play. And Dot Hack. Unfortunately, like this is the one that's I put 120 hours in, and I would say like that checks out. Well, one because it's 3 games in one technically, but also it was the game that I spent like the most leisure time in. Like I legitimately read the emails, I was reading the news articles, I was watching the TV shows in the game, I was talking and trading and doing all of the extended side quest and just doing just regular MMO shit, but it's a simulation of an MMO, so it checks out with the rest of the hundreds of hours I spent on MMOs that are filling my top games on here. So, yeah.
So back to his question, he's basically asking like, so if you have 350 hours in Master Duel, is that one of your favorite games? Is that just a good game? Like what?
Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh is my favorite card game. I've played it as a kid.
Okay.
I played it in real life. I played it on Dueling Network back when you had to do it manually. Unfortunately, it's the
PUBG?
only. Yeah, PUBG. I was obsessed with PUBG. Like,
by the way, what is the difference between PUBG and DayZ?
which is funny, and you say that because that's when I first started playing PUBG. Was when it was a mod for DayZ or Arma, whichever one it was. But yeah, it's because DayZ is built off of the framework of Arma, and that one's like it's like Rust. It's like horror. You know what I'm saying? You build a little base, you fight other people. It's like a little Minecraft server. And PUBG is like the structured, like we taken this out of Arma because it was a mod for Arma, and they took it out of Arma and was like, okay, we're gonna make our own little game structure out of that. But I played the fuck out of the mod on Arma for PUBG, so that it translated.
But is PUBG Battlegrounds? That's the battle royale, right?
Yeah, that's the battle royale. Hold on, my dog is throwing up right now. You know when dogs be doing, how dogs and cats be doing that shit where they be like, and you're like,
No, because I don't have a dog or a cat for that exact reason.
He said,
told you.
don't you have snakes and shit though?
Dude, my snakes died.
Oh,
They did die.
damn.
Well, one of them died, and then I had to give the other one up.
No, took it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
fault. I'm sorry for your loss, man.
This is like this was so long ago.
It's like season.
We
1,
talked
bro.
about it. This is season. Well, this was season 0. Like, no. I think it was like season 2 that happened. I think it was pre-status check too.
Yeah, that's back when
But I
before
feel
we
like-
did scripted sections.
Yeah, before when the podcast was good. Yeah.
But yeah, back to his question, I would say that it does check out because Yu-Gi-Oh is one of my favorite like card games. I still play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I love it. Like I still on the side be playing like Yu-Gi-Oh Pro and like Omega, like other simulators other than Master Duel. So I mean, it is my go-to comfort like Yu-Gi-Oh. I extremely hate Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's more of a frustration because I'm a boomer now and I kind of liked the fun of making pet decks and like, because right now I use an Ancient Warriors deck, which is essentially a
Yeah, you
Dynasty
showed me.
Warriors deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so fun. I love it. It's so fun to use, especially because it still can like destroy most meta decks if you get the right hand or whatever like that. But like
Yeah.
just earlier, before we did the fucking podcast, while I was in the meeting, I was doing a Yu-Gi-Oh game, and you just don't get to play. You go second, and the guy summons 30,000 things somehow, and everything that you do on your turn, they go, oop, nope, negate. Oop, nope, negate and destroy. Oop, nope, negate. And it's like, damn, nigga, can I fucking play the game? And I like playing the game. Like, I like the back and forth of, like, I like, when you watch the anime and they're like, oh, no, you my trap card. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. Now it's just, sorry, I summoned this
Too
monster.
meta?
You can't do shit. Yeah. And I think that's just an issue of Master Duel because it's a best of one and it doesn't have a side deck. Whereas if most of these decks wouldn't be as relevant if there was a best of 3 with a side deck. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, most of my favorite games are MMOs. It checks out for like most of my life. I played MMOs and I loved MMOs, and most of my hours is on MMOs.
It's funny because it used to. I used to play Marvel Snap, which is a card game, and I think I have a lot of hours in Marvel Snap. I think it's a great game, but it was addicting, and also it got annoying. The meta of it got annoying, where it's just like you have like these cool decks, and I had some really like good ones that were able to counter a lot of the meta decks, but it's like every season the game was changing, and I'm just like, this is so annoying. Now I gotta, like, you get a new card, or I think every season you got about 3 new cards, and it was just game changing. It just changed everything, and I was like, this is getting so annoying. After, I don't know, at that point it was like 10 seasons. Like, just can't do this anymore. And it was just taking up it was so distracting. I'd be like they're quick games, but you can get caught at the wrong moment though playing them. And like, it'd be like me and Elise are getting ready to go somewhere. I'm like, okay, well, she's taking a while. So I play a couple games, and then she's done in the middle of like a really important game.
In the middle of like the decisive strike, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hold on, hold on. This is gonna take like another 5 minutes, and she gets antsy, so I'm like, I gotta drop out. But
yeah, I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Unfortunately is a whales game now, where it's just. Okay, see, my thing is that there's nothing stopping niggas from just playing like their fun decks, but niggas, I understand now that niggas like winning more than they like having fun. And me, I don't even mind. I don't even mind if I lose like a duel. If it's like a deck that I've never heard of, I'm like, oh, you got me there. Haha, thanks, man.
Right.
Nice duel. But it's so annoying because you go from a format of like, bro, you went from like every meta deck is essentially, and now they get to the point to where they can universally summon all of the other boss monsters that were super annoying. So like you're getting through these decks that summon like 20 cards a turn, and then all of these cards do shit and have shit and do shit in the graveyard. And if you destroy it while I'm in the middle of doing some shit, I'll summon some shit that do some shit. And it's like, you can't even get to the point to where you can stop the deck from doing what the fuck it wants to do. Because most of the time you can't, with only like a couple cards if you're going second. So it's like, if you go first, it's just a matter of it. The duel's won by who wins the coin toss, because whoever wins the coin toss can summon their boss monsters. There are 4 universal boss monsters that anytime you do anything, it will destroy it and negate it and stop you from doing anything. And it's like, bruh, is this fun to you? Like, that shit is not fun to me, bro. Like, I have 3 decks right now. I have Ancient Warriors, which is not about boss monsters. It's just you summon a monster, then you summon Lubu. Lubu can destroy one of your monsters every turn. And then you have your different little Ancient Warriors that can all do their own little thing. Like Zhao Yun can, if you attack my monster, I can summon Zhao Yun, and then you lose 1,000 attack, and then I can destroy one of your cards. Like, just shit like that. Or like Dong Zhuo, if I summon Dong Zhuo and Lubu, then anytime you use a card, it costs 400 life points. So it's like, you can do your whole little shit, but you're going to slowly bleed yourself to like do your full combo and stuff like that. This is like small shit like that. I have a Warrock deck, which is literally just Unga Bunga monsters. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Imagine a Marvel Snap deck where like imagine a Marvel Snap deck where all it is all of the big, like the Hulk, the Thing, is just all the big number monsters.
Now, like, see, now it feels like you're dumbing it down. It feels like okay. Imagine your favorite superhero.
But that's what the Warrock monster deck is. It's essentially like, I got Abomination, I got the Hulk, I got the Thing, I got fucking what other big monster cards are there in Marvel Snap? I can't remember. And then there's another deck where it's just like fucking Sentinels. I just summoned 30 Sentinels.
Now that I think about it, there was a deck in Marvel Snap where people had, oh my god, it was so annoying. It was this combination of Arnim Zola, and he was, once you played that card, it destroyed your highest power card in any of the areas, and it would duplicate it in the other areas that card wasn't in. So let's say you had like a really high powered card on the left field, and you put Arnim Zola, it would destroy that card on that left field, but then it would spawn it, 2 versions of it, in the middle lane and in the right lane.
That sounds
so
incredibly
it
annoying,
was
especially
so-
with like Jessica Jones mixed with like the Hulk. Like, I could see it right now.
It was so people used it so. I mean, people were like clever with it. It was just so aggravating sometimes, like because you couldn't do anything about it. It's just like, well, okay, you know. And then there was. I hated it so much.
Now imagine
like,
that,
you would,
but like you don't get a turn. At least you get to put down cards in Marvel Snap when they do that bullshit.
At least you get to play. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on here. Let's move on.
I got a question for you since we're on the topic of video games, and this is the second half. So, what are your most anticipated games for like the second half of this year coming in and like the start of 2026? Like, what are your most anticipated games? Because I know we always talk. Yeah, for Q4. I know we talk about a lot of old ass games on here, but I haven't really played any new games like that, other than which we'll probably cover on the next status check. I mean, we're kind of reaching that time.
I feel like I looked up, like I had to look up what was coming out, but then I realized I'm like, oh no, like I do have a list. My most anticipated games for Q4 are Sword of the Sea. That's by the Journey and Abzu devs. And
yeah, that's the snowboarding one, right? Where he's snowboarding on the sword.
Yeah. That one looks so cool. That comes out I think this month, if not next month. Metal Gear Solid Delta comes out this month. Mind you, I'm probably not going to get any of these if I can't find a job. Trails in the Sky First Chapter remake looks really amazing. I want to jump into that. Silent Hill F, of course. I'm going to try that out. I'm sorry, Silent Hill Souls. Final Fantasy Tactics, the remaster. Although I think I might just
play the OG,
find a ROM and play that on my PSP, the War of the Lions. There's a PSP remaster of the original on the PS1 called War of the Lions that I just might play that instead of buying this one. And then Marvel, what's it called? Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Yeah.
A beat 'em up with superheroes. Yeah, that's...
We got to run through that.
art.
If it has like online play, we got to run through that.
It should.
That's going to be fun. I want to play a She-Hulk the whole time and just suplex people. That'll be so fun.
Yeah, it looks amazing. And I loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. Although that game was hard as fuck. I could never beat it.
Bro, I want to play the Power Rangers one. There's a whole...
Yeah, the Power Rangers one looked really...
So
I wanted to buy that one too. But I think it was made by a different development.
Maybe.
I think it's Dodomu that made the TMNT one, but I don't know who made the Power Rangers one.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my most anticipated.
For me,
and we have none in common, by the way. So.
That's just how many games there are, bro. Listen, none of these games have a gun or a ball in it.
Mine or yours?
Well, both. Yeah. There's only one gun.
Actually, hold on.
These games, only Metal Gear technically will have a gun, but even then,
Metal Gear has a gun. That's so funny.
Yeah,
a ball or a gun?
Because niggas be saying there's no games. Gaming is dead, bro. We just named.
That's true.
We just named 12 games. Hell is Us. I played the demo, and I'm so intrigued by the world. I'm so intrigued by the puzzles, the world crafting that game has. I'm so intrigued by it. I think I'll have more fun playing and solving the puzzles and the mysteries and the intrigue of learning the world than I will like the actual combat. It's just Neo. As we talk about Souls
when does it
games.
come out?
Next month, actually. Yeah. I think it comes out at the beginning of next month. And then Ghost of Yote and Digimon Time Stranger, they both come out, I think, the same time around Metal Gear Solid Delta and Silent Hill. I think it's like all like the end of September is just fucking chaos.
Yeah, Ghost of Yote comes out the 2nd, and I was gonna put that on my list, but I could probably wait on that.
Same,
honestly.
I could play it, but
State of Play.
I'm good.
Especially because I played Assassin's Creed,
Shadows, yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I was
very similar plot of person.
It's like, let me... And then, honestly, it looks too similar to the first Ghost of Tsushima, which I liked, But I'm like, I'm not in a rush to play the same thing. Like it looked.
Yeah, and I did
The only
just
thing
play
that-
Ghost of Tsushima like season 3 of Back of the Rack. I played it in between then, so like I just played Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think it's like
okay.
away from my lexicon yet far enough
Right.
to be like, oh yeah, I love this now.
Yeah, I mean, the little spotlight that they had on it didn't sell me on like, oh, I have to get this day one. It looks like.
It looks like
I
Ghost
mean, it
of
looks
Tsushima
great.
too.
It looks amazing. Yeah, but I was kind of hoping for something different. Like, I don't know, different animations or different ways to play the game or something. But
You don't want to play with lo-fi music though?
Oh, that lo-fi music sounded ass. That was
I'm
like an
hip.
AI generated fucking like.
I'm hip. I hate that they
I was like,
gentrified
no.
that shit. I'm like, bro, just play some hip hop, bro. Just call it boom bap.
Yeah.
Don't call it lo-fi. It's boom bap, motherfuckers.
I hated that. I hate that they. Shinichiro Watanabe and Samurai Champloo. That music is not lo-fi, like
Yeah.
it's hip hop. Like there's a, I don't know. I thought that was really frustrating because I'm like there's like maybe one song that's even like lo-fi ish, but I don't know. When I heard that it was like lo-fi hip hop, I'm like that's not what Samurai Champloo is. It's not.
Yeah.
The
I guess-
Nujabes aren't lo-fi.
I guess to the uninformed, you listen to it and it's like, oh yeah, that does sound like lo-fi, but a lot of lo-fi is inspired by Nujabes.
Right.
But Nujabes was just hip hop. That's just hip. That's like saying
Yes,
Talib
yeah.
Kweli is lo-fi. It's like, nigga, what? No, it's just it's just
Yeah.
hip
There's
hop.
there was two beats that do have that sort of like muted sort of like lo-fi
Yeah.
sound.
But those are usually
if you
used
listen
for
to-
like transitional scenes and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So like the fact that that lo-fi is this whole thing now and then what they were playing in the trailer, I was like that sounds like generic lo-fi.
I know lo-fi when it has like when you hear the film crack and the like
Right,
the vinyl
right.
crack, and then you hear the boom, like when I hear that like bass pattern, I'm like, oh yeah, this is some generic ass like
the double kick.
yeah, boom,
Yeah.
boom. I'm like, all right, I get it. Ninja Gaiden 4. I keep forgetting this game's coming out. I keep forgetting there's actually.
Wait, hold on. The opening song, Battle Cry. That's just hip hop. Like I hate
Yeah,
that.
it just
You want-
sounds lo-fi to modern standards, but it's
Yeah.
a hip hop song. It's just
Yeah.
it's like saying Common
Okay,
B is lo-fi, but it's like it's just low energy. I don't want to say low energy, but like
Right,
it's just
right.
mellow,
Yeah.
and that fits the theme of a samurai. And there is high impact songs like
Yes, there is. Yeah.
yeah,
And they accentuate the fact that some songs are mellow, but some songs like I think it's called Thousand Way of Drums. That shit is crazy.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of wild to me. But anyways, go on.
And I just beat Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1 in preparation for Bloodlines 2. And I'm very excited for people saying the same. It's going to, listen, Vampire the
I didn't
Masquerade.
play this game.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline is to Dragon's Dogma. And I assume that Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is going to be like Dragon's Dogma 2. And how we felt, where we're like, it's good. It's still good, but it's just the same thing. And it's going to get the same criticisms, the same flack that the first game got. I feel like it's going to be the exact same situation with Bloodlines 2, especially because this shit's been in development. Hell, this shit was supposed to come out like when I was a senior in high school, bro. Like this shit's been supposed to come out for
I
a
remember you telling
long
me, yeah.
time. So yeah, we'll see in 2 months.
Yeah. What else?
That's it for me. I don't have nothing else. Listen, I got Expedition 33. I'm about to play through it, and I wasn't excited for it. I didn't care for it, and I probably still won't. I'm trying to damper my expectations of Expedition 33 because when you see everybody hype it up like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and you know what I'm saying, you look at the gameplay and you look at the story, and you're like, I mean, the story might be fine, but like the gameplay looks like looks like the same shit I've been.
Expedition 33 is an underdog, and I think that's why it's being championed the way it is. I think that the story, I didn't beat the game, put about 33 hours into it. I think I actually did put about 35 hours into it, actually. But I dropped out. I just wasn't a fan of the world. I didn't think that the art style, I thought the art style is striking, but I think the atmospheres, there's something about it, this surrealism that just doesn't click for me. And I'm just like, I don't want to be in this space anymore. Like, I'm just tired of navigating this. It's kind of hard. Like, even though it's a linear game, it's kind of hard to get your bearings because of how weird some of these linear corridors are. I'm just like, what is this? It feels very dreamlike. And I think that's a preferential thing. I don't think that makes the game bad. But the combat is really good. It's very easy to like get a build going, and it feels like you've mastered something, and so that feels good because you're just like, ooh, I got this fucking crazy ass build for this character, and they're doing all this damage, and it's challenging, so that's what makes it feel like it's not cheap, and it makes you feel smart. It makes you feel like you got something going, and I think that's a really good feeling in a game when you can like balance that out. The story is really. The first act is really good. The first act and the second act, because I was halfway through it, I think it kind of stalled in some way and became a little bit less interesting. But it feels like a French anime. There's something about it that just has like that big anime energy where there's these moments that you're like, I could see this in an anime, absolutely. Like, it just feels very...
And that's my thing, is that I'm trying to figure... And that's what I'm trying to gauge, and I guess I'll find out soon when we talk about it next status check. But my concern is that as somebody that's been playing JRPGs for damn near 20 years now, and I've played the weird ones. I've played some weird ones. I've played some good ones. I've played all sorts of RPGs.
Okage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I think about if this game, and like I talked about with Forspoken, if this game had an anime aesthetic, would people still treat it the same way that they're treating it now? Because you know how everybody's having this conversation about turn-based,
that's another aspect,
combat and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I get the story, because I'm unfortunately I've been spoiled, because if they're a very popular game, people will not shut the fuck up and not spoil it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm already knowing what I'm getting into. So I guess it'll change my perspective because I already know the twist going into it and seeing that. But
that sucks.
Yeah, but you know, that's Twitter gaming for you.
That sucks.
That's Twitter gaming for you.
That's actually a really good. That's a good point, because when I think about it from a different angle, when I think about like, I'm not a huge fan of racializing things, but let me racialize this for a second. So let's say with Drake, right? He makes rap music, pop rap, palatable to people because he's not like a normal nigga. He's not like dark and, you know, really from the streets and all that. He's really marketable. Start from the bottom. He's marketable, yeah. And so more people accept hip hop because of Drake, and it's not covered in the more... I mean, he has like the hood aesthetic sometimes and the aesthetics, but it's not like... It's different. And so I feel like maybe with this game, where it's like, oh, because it doesn't have the anime aesthetic that keep people away so much, you know, like a lot of people will see an anime game and be like, not for me, skip. Yeah. They think all games are the same. There's like no differentiation.
Yeah, because think about like Metaphor. Metaphor only sold 1 million, like 1.5 million copies or something like that.
Yeah.
And people champion that as like, oh, this is one of the greatest turn-based RPGs of all time, and then Expedition sells 10 times that at the same time. And I feel like Metaphors might have a better... I don't know. I haven't played it yet. Let me shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I can't say either because I didn't play Metaphor, but it really does come down to that marketability. Like people that there's YouTubers that I watch that were playing this game that I know wouldn't play it if it was an anime game. Like have downright said like, oh yeah, if this was like fucking a Final Fantasy out or Persona out, yeah,
fucking
wouldn't have. Yeah, I wouldn't even like. Yeah, but because it's palatable to a mainstream audience, it succeeded, and so you get a lot of people. And I don't know, it kind of has that feel to it where it's like, oh, because it's not this and it's this, it's. And then there's also the aspect of like Square Enix moving away from turn-based games, and so people are already they have a chip on their shoulder about that. So when this game comes out and then has turn-based and is successful, they're like, see, like this is great. Like so there's all these different like ways that people are consuming this and what they're thinking about it. That's really like pushing it to the level it's at. Cause it's like, it's doing this, it's doing that. It's, and it's not even so much about the game itself. Sometimes it seems like it's just about the conversations around the game. Like, you can make a successful game with turn-based, and it doesn't have to be anime. Like, and now people that don't play these types of games are into it. Like, it's more about what's happening on the outside of it. That's why it's become such like a zeitgeist.
Yeah,
I
think so too as well. Because I think it brings it back to like the meme that we say all the time. Well, we say personally to each other all the time about niggas saying like gaming is dead, and then you watch the video and it's just a nigga that only plays Call of Duty and Halo, and he's like, yeah, bro, back in the day we used to have like Singularity and Legendary and fucking, and it's like, all right, bro, like you just need to expand your horizons. And I think even when it comes to certain JRPG, I feel like even with JRPGs, a lot of people are mainstream JRPG fans, whereas, for example, the Trials games or Last Remnant, One Piece Odyssey, fucking, like there's a lot of JRPGs that come out. Yeah, very unique, very diverse battle systems. Some battle systems include quick time events and parry systems. Like, this isn't a novel, like maybe the build crafting system and being able to make these broken builds. I won't disparage that because I feel like that might be a very unique and feature to this game that does change the way that you see and play this game. But, parrying, active time battling in the middle of your battles, like we've seen this with Lost Odyssey. Like, we just played this. Legends of Dragoon, Legends of Legaia, Xenogears, Xenosaga. Like, we've played. This isn't a new revolutionary thing. And not to say that it has to be new or revolutionary to get the praise and accolades that it is getting. But I fear that people that are uninformed will champion something without understanding that it's not new.
Yeah.
And I think that's go back to your statement of what you were saying. That's what a lot of people did with Drake. And that's why a lot of people have issues with Drake, is because like when people are like, oh, you're just hating on Drake. And it's like, no, bro, he just kind of took this sound or took this style and made it palatable to the masses, marketable, and they were able to enjoy this. But the people that's already been enjoying this, like we just talked about with lo-fi music, this isn't a new thing. It's just been saturated or diluted enough to where you can enjoy it with your chicken nuggets and mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate. I mean, it's just something that happens, and I think will continue to happen as new generations are exposed to specific media. I saw somebody react to that movie Weapons that I was talking about earlier, that came out this past weekend. They were reacting to it, and they were saying like, "Oh, this feels like a horror movie that's like moving." I feel she was like, "I feel like it's a movie." I feel like these horror movies lately have been moving more towards like good stories as opposed to just scaring us. And I want to be like, have you not seen horror movies from like the 70s or 80s or even 90s? There's always been horror. The good horror movies focus on story, and that's what makes them good, not just the scares.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've only been watching horror movies in the last like 10 years that are like mainstream.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of great horror movies like that focus on like the psychological and the dream or the story and the drama and not just the scares. And you know, the video, of course, like 70,000
6 billion
views, a million likes. And I'm just like,
guys,
like that. Yeah, it's a lot of. I don't want to say uneducated, but
yeah, but I mean, it
young people.
It's just people that you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like the internet allows niggas that are uninformed, as we talk as two niggas with podcast mics. It's very easy to just, you know, like I understand the fucking word, I can't say it.
The hypocrisy.
The hypocrisy. There we go. I couldn't say it. It was on the top of my tongue. Of us being two niggas talking about fucking video games and saying this, but it's like, I mean, it's true. Like, I don't come on here and try to talk about fucking Madden or like, you know what I'm saying? Rhythm. Like, I like rhythm games, but I'm not like one of them niggas. Like, I get scared when I go to a convention and it's all the rhythm game cabinets and the niggas are playing on expert full speed 300 times. Like, no, I look at those niggas and I get scared when they get on their DDR machines. When they have the backpack and they put it to the side of the screen, I'm like, no.
Oh, you come here, yeah.
You are on some other shit. I just like playing and be like, ha ha ha, wow. But like, I mean, I think what it is that like, and I think that's why I've gone on this self-discovery journey of like pushing myself to play games, even if I don't like them. Like, for example, I just played through Jack and Daxter and just going through exposure therapy of like platformers, because I know that that's a genre that I don't like. Like, I can tell you off the top of my head, I don't like them. Whereas like, well, maybe because Sonic Adventure is my favorite game of all time. So it's like, I obviously like platformers for something. So what is it that I don't like about other platformers, and what can I see about those platformers? Like I already know with RPGs, I like RPGs that are more into dungeon diving, more into delving, and less about story railroading, like a Persona game or something like that. I like games where they allow me to just explore the world and do my shit. So
right.
It's understanding what I like about these genres, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I like every genre. It's just finding out what I like about each genre. And a lot of people, even with music, same thing with music. Like, I like poppy music that's more funk inspired, more melodies, more harmonies. I like songs like that when it comes to my pop music. I like my country music to sound like just straight guitar and I like that. I like I like my house music to give me something other than the basics, you know. I want you to give me a weird groove, give me some weird samples, give me something weird with my house and music. Like, you can hear from my mixes, like the songs that I choose aren't just the regular like I want something more than that. I need something. So I mean, when people say shit uninformed, like gaming is dead, or this movie is reinventing the wheel, or that this movie is saving cinema, it's like, you know, you are only saying that because all you watch is MCU movies, and now you're watching something different, and you're like, oh, okay. Whereas like somebody like you that watches movies on a regular, you know, you're like, there's a lot of good movies out right now. You just aren't watching movies. Yeah. That's all it is. It's a frustration that comes out of it from like, shut the fuck up.
I think what it is too, it's experience. We're talking about experience, how we experience things, what we experience. We're experiencing games and movies, and you know, and there's a generation coming up where they can just their opinions about things are just front and center. And they're so inexperienced, they lack wisdom, they lack a little bit of humility, they lack any like critical thinking in terms of like, oh, well, maybe they've been doing this for a while, but because I've only seen 25 horror movies, I don't fucking know the history of horror movies. And, you know, I think there's just like a lack of overall across the board. I think there's a lack of appreciation for history, for the history of anything. You know, and people are just like rushing to their conclusions of media or pretty much anything. But there's just a lack of appreciation of the history of things and putting that into context and making sweeping declarations like, yeah, this movie is, yeah, like reinventing the wheel. This game is the greatest RPG of all time. This is, you know, it's like, guys, come on. Like, like, at least give it some time to breathe. What do you mean it's the greatest game of all time?
But here's another thing though. Is that on us and the older generation to steward people into appreciating and understanding their history with these different forms of art? Yeah, because, you know, my dad put me on. I remember, I'll always tell this story of my dad had this giant collection of records, which is where a lot of my taste came from. Like, he had like the first Daft Punk album, like The Prodigy, Jamiroquai, but he had Crunk Juice by Little John. And, you know, when you're a kid living on Boulder Crest Road in Atlanta, you know, you listen to a lot of, you know, trap music at the time. And my dad came home. I was blasting on the big speakers he had, and I was blasting. It's a song by Little John that goes, "Why you fucking with me? Stop fucking with me." And I was singing it along. And he came home, beat my ass, and was like, "You're grounded. The only thing you can listen to is micro." He burned the CD, gave me my CD player, and he was like, "You can only listen to this one song. You have until Friday to memorize every word of this song and perform it for me, or else you're grounded." Like, continuously, no video games, no nothing. And so all I had was Microphone Fiend by Rakim. And I had to perform that song on the speaker, like I was doing, word from word, bar for bar, into the end. And then I got an appreciation, and I was like, wow, I actually fuck with Rakim. So then I listened to the rest of Eric B. and Rakim. Then I started listening to KRS-One. Then I started listening to, like, the Slick Rick, like that Adventures of Slick Rick, and like Jazzy Jeff from Fresh Prince. Like, I went back and listened to the older songs and Far Side, Beastie Boys, and I got an appreciation for 90s and 80s rap as I was listening to the 2000s and, you know, the trap and everything that was going on with modern hip hop in the area that I was in at the time. But it was him telling me, "No, nigga, you can't listen to this until you listen to this and you show me that you listen to this. Until you prove to me that you've done your homework." Then he allowed me to listen to all the albums that he had, and that was later on form my general musical taste from the eclectic collection of music that he had there. So, like, and like the same thing with like video games. He told me he was playing Legend of Zelda, he was playing Turok, and even as I got older, he was still playing Legend of Zelda and Turok and all these older games. As I'm playing my little GameCube games, he still's got the 64 on the big screen. Like, nah, I'm just continuing my Ocarina of Time. You know, it's taking some time, but, you know, I'm just replaying it. And that allowed me to go, let me fuck around with this game. Let me see what's going on with this SNES game over here, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like the Warriors. The Warriors is another, Now I think about it, I gotta call my dad. And thank that nigga for, like, you know, like a lot of this shit, like the Warriors, fucking, like all these old movies that I like enjoy. It's because of this nigga. So, like, he put me on to shit. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be on to this shit. I would be one of these niggas talking about we wouldn't be doing this podcast. I'd be one of them niggas talking about yeah, bro, I'm buying 2K26, bro. You getting it? I gotta get my VC. I'm already on the build maker. So
that's so interesting. I feel like, God, I feel like no one put me onto anything. I feel like I kind of, being like a firstborn, I think, like, and also having a, you know, father and the son of a Mexican immigrant, I feel like American culture, like, I really had to discover on my own through whatever means, having interest. I think I had some friends growing up that were into different types of hip hop that I remember being like, oh, what's that? Like the Gorillas, I remember was introduced to me when I was like 10 or 11 by a friend who had the internet, and he's like, check out this video by the Gorillas. I think it was Feel Good Inc. And I was like, whoa, this is sick, man. And then I had friends that were into different types of rap that I wasn't into. Like I had a friend that was like really into like 50 Cent, G Unit, and when they were popular, of course.
Back when everybody
not
was
like
wearing
after
the
the
white
fact.
beaters and shit.
Yeah. You know, I had other friends that were into, and I remember, you know, I found out about like Kanye West, Lupe, and like, you know, Pharrell and ERD and all that on my own. And the same with games. I sort of developed my own like taste of things. There wasn't anybody ever to really show me a lot of that stuff. Even with music, I got into orchestral music and band music, things with like live instruments. I like that because I was in band and like we would play specific pieces, and I was like, wow, like I like this kind of music. I like just listening to like band music. Or, you know, and
But
that's
we also
why I seek out like.
Yeah, I was gonna say we also are a product of our environment though, because I would say that like being poor, like it's funny enough talking about Back of the Rack is just being poor is a big catalyst as to a reason why I played a lot of the game. Like Dynasty Warriors is a very bargain bin series. It's like, oh, Dynasty Warriors $5. Let me buy that, and then you fall in love with it.
Yeah, you just kind of. I mean, there's so many. I feel like so much of my life has really been about finding, and it has shot me in the foot because I think what happens is that because I found everything on my own, I don't have a lot of value sometimes in what other people try to show me, and I think in the last like 5 years, I've been aware of that, and I've tried to like open myself up to what other people like and what they, you know, because people try to put me on and, you know, to things, whether it's like a book or a movie. I mean, like with you, sometimes games or music. But
I still can't believe you said you
like
don't
really,
like 454, bro. You need to listen to Fast Tracks 3, bro.
I used to be very like dismissive of what other people would recommend and stuff, and like every once in a while, maybe I would like, you know, like check it out. But I became very self-involved with like, oh well, I developed my own tastes on my own, and I think I have great taste, and you telling me that I'm gonna like this, and then I don't like it, and it's like, well, what the fuck? Of course, you don't know my taste, like, you know what I mean?
Type shit, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, double-edged sword there, I suppose, and definitely still like trying to just be more open to what people recommend, or what people like, you know, say to check out. I think especially with movies. Movies is one. I haven't seen a lot of like older movies, so you know people are always like recommending like, oh, if you like this, you should check this out, and I'm like, I got games to play. Sorry.
You should watch Trippin'.
But yeah, I mean we should probably call it. I mean we have a good amount of time here. I mean,
yeah, I'll save it. I think it'll be a good dichotomy to talk about the games that I was playing next time once I beat the next game that we were just talking about, Expedition 33. So I start that.
Yes. Yeah, you'll have to tell me how you feel about it as you're going through it. I'll probably start Rumble Roses here soon. I need to beat Death Stranding too. I took a break. I was playing Monster Hunter Wilds a lot because there was
just stop. Just wait
event.
Just wait. They're gonna give back Underwater. They're gonna come back on Underwater Combat. It's gonna be 5, bro.
Oh no, yeah, they already brought back Underwater Combat. They brought back Chris or whatever, and there's a whole underwater fight with him.
I feel like like that's gonna be the next thing. Like, you know how like there was like the Clutch Claw for like Monster Hunter Iceborne. I feel like that's gonna be the thing because like there's a lot of water, and even the other big belly monster, the Athruna, I think Athru.
Oh, Uthduna, yeah.
Yeah, that one goes underwater too. So I'm like, I feel like they're gonna bring it back, bro. They're gonna bring back a lot of them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah, they had like the Festival of Flame. I was just you know farming tickets to get specific armor. It's just a fun game. I like it a lot. And I was like, can I get the platinum in this? One of the trophies is like get play 50 multiplayer quests. And I was like, fuck. So I just started playing with niggas. And then I realized how much easier fights are with 4 other niggas. And I was
Beating
like,
the shit out of this one monster. Yes, it is insane.
but it's a double-edged sword, though, because while it's faster and everybody's fucking going in and it's messy, I do think it takes away a little bit from what I feel like I'm doing. Because I'm just like, you know, with my
I guess
I use I'm with the great sword, but everybody else is doing so much damage, and as am I. I feel like it takes away from like the I don't know, the triumph of like taking it out, because it's like, oh yeah, you guys, we killed it. Like this monster had no chance.
we beat this. Nah, dude, what annoyed me towards the end was I was doing like arch tempered and tempered monsters, and then you'll be doing what was the one, the black one. The black monster, I forgot his fucking name. I would do like tempered. Oh, not Nargacuga.
Was it the black? Was it a the squid one or the
virus one?
That's like the Darmagala or something like that.
Gormagala.
Gormagala.
I would do like tempered Gormagala, tempered any of the like 4 like Raydu and all that stuff, and then you'll sign up for the quest, and then like niggas are fucking dying. I would be like.
Oh, yeah, I finally experienced that. We were fighting a arch-tempered, or what's above arch-tempered? Oh, no,
arch-tempered is the
arch-tempered
max,
is okay, yeah. So we were doing one for one of the newer monsters that they added, the Seregios. And, God, he's so fucking difficult. And, yeah, we were fighting for like 35 minutes, you know, and someone fucking died. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never doing that again. So now I don't do arc tempered with anybody. I just like go in solo, and I'm like, I'd rather just have it all be on me than have to worry that like one of the 3 people dies. You know,
fuck up and rush the whole shit. Yeah, no, that was the part for me where I was like, because it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, Monster Hunter Wilds is fun, and I probably should hop back on there. But like, I don't know. I just got to the point where I was like, what am I doing? I got my blast sword and shield. I'm beating the shit out of stuff, bro. I love the sword and shield. I think that's my issue. I can't escape the sword and shield. It's just such a good weapon, bro. And
that's like how I feel too.
And I was with the lance, and I was like, yeah, I'm loving the lance. Like I started with the lance, and I was like, I'm loving this shit. Then I died to the octopus one time, and I was like, gotta go back. I'm going to the sword and shield. You got me fucked up. Beat the shit out of it with the sword and shield. So, I mean,
it has so much mobility, but
yeah, I'll try it again with like. I'll probably start it up and just start fighting some random monsters with like I don't know, an insect glaive, I guess. I don't know.
The only problem is that I feel like I've done everything too, and that's why like I just jumped in. I did the new monsters. There was like some new things to acquire, got all that stuff, and then I just dropped out. But I'm like, yeah, I mean, I really actually want to go back and finish. Warriors Orochi 4. I had some DLC I bought that I never completed. I want to play Dragon Quest Warriors again, and I want to finish Samurai Warriors 5, which I remember not liking, or for whatever reason. I remember we bought that together, and we were like kind of playing it.
I didn't even do none of the what if missions or anything like that. I think I just did both stories, and I just was like, all right, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't even finish the story. I was like, I just can't. I was not in the mood for the story, and I didn't like that there was barely any characters, and they were all like clones.
Yeah,
I was just like, no. But I think I might be in the mood to jump back into something more hack and slashy.
I think that's why I'm playing Lies of P right now. One, because they gave it away for free, but I think I'm just in a Souls. Yeah. I'm in a Souls kick right now since I've been going through them all, where I'm like, fuck it. I was about to cop first Berserker Kazan or whatever, because that came out this year too. But I was like, I don't know if after playing Lies of P, I was like,
You're fucking wild for that.
Hella Zest is coming out. That's a Souls like. Listen, we'll have a comment.
Is it though?
Yeah, it's like Neo. Like it has the key pulse and everything. Like, but see, that's what I'm saying is that like that's the least interesting part of the game to me. The more interesting part is like the world and all the bullshit that goes on with that. But then it's like, okay, now I'm doing like perfect dodges and parries, and
it's Did you see the gameplay for Silent Hill F?
Yep.
The combat?
Souls.
I was like, damn.
Everything's we're gonna talk about this next. September, we talking about this, bro. We're gonna have a deep log because I'm gonna have 2 Souls likes, maybe 3 to talk about.
I do want to beat Demon Souls because it's crazy being there. I was there when that PS3 Demon Souls game came out, and I was so into it. I was like, this is so sick,
Bro.
And then it became and then I was there for Dark Souls. I have like the tin for Dark Souls. I was like, I remember my friends bought it for me for my birthday, Dark Souls, and I played that, and then for some reason, I just kind of fell off. I was like, I'm kind of done with these games.
I did the same thing with both of those. I copped Demon Souls, and I was like, I don't get it. This is a weird ass game. Anyway, returning.
I didn't get it either. Yeah.
And then I got Dark Souls. That's another thing. That's that to answer fucking community's question. I wish I still had the Dark Souls 3 strategy guide because it was like a hardback too. That was really good. I got that when I copped Dark Souls. I was like, he was like, you're gonna need the strategy guide, and I was like, all right, I'll cop the strategy guide too. Fuck it. And I fell out of that too. So like this binge that I've been going, because I've completed them all now. I've done every single one up to Elden Ring, including the Neo series, including some little one-offs like Steel Rising and all that shit. So I'm deep in this fucking Souls bag. So now I can legitimately talk my shit when I say that we need to stop, bro. we need to chill, guys.
I am open to Silent Hill F being a Souls game. I think that actually might make the combat more interesting. However,
I don't play Silent Hill for the combat though.
Yeah, there is that aspect, but I think gameplay wise, and psychologically, like when you're gonna be less scared of these enemies, and I feel like that's gonna take away from the overall fear of like the game and the atmosphere, because you're just fucking dodging them. And I mean, you're not Devil May Cry, like you're not Dante doing these stylish combos, but
you're not Sekiro parrying everything.
Yeah, there's something that gets taken away. There's something that gets taken away when you're playing a Souls-like game. Like, even though the creatures in like Elden Ring and Dark Souls, they can be terrifying or like their designs are scary, there's a point where you're just like, okay, now you're locking in onto the mechanics. Now you're studying them. It takes you out of the like world, and now you're just like trying to beat this boss on a mechanical level. And I think that I hope they don't lean too much into like that aspect where I don't know. I saw some of the gameplay and I was like,
I know what you mean, because I think that's how I felt at least with Resident Evil 4 remake. Because Resident Evil 4, it technically isn't really a scary game either, the original. No, but I felt like with all of the updates and changes to Resident Evil 4 remake, that I was like, this is definitely not scary at all. This is just a standard action game. Whereas Resident Evil 2, oddly enough, does fit that atmosphere and give you that feeling of like, oh shit, hold on. So it might just be. I mean, it might fit. I mean, it might fit with the character.
It might.
We don't know. We gotta play it though. But I mean, from the looks of the gameplay, I do agree. Where it's like, all right, guys, we got to get away from Z targeting shit, bro.
Yeah, it's. I mean, again, it could be Silent Hill 2 remake. The combat was the weakest part, but also because they put too much combat in there too. Like, it was fine. And then they just put too many enemies, and you're just like doing the same shit, and it's like they're afraid to just let you not fight enemies. I feel like there's a fear, like, we don't want niggas to get bored or leave. We need to include as many enemies. We need to make them very hard, or niggas are not gonna fucking like this. Yeah. It's like they just don't like they can't just like live off the atmosphere. Like, they don't want to just let you just solve puzzles. You'll fight like enemies 15% of the time, but you're mainly just here for the scares and all of that.
Yeah, that'll be like playing Silent Hill 1 and stopping to fight everything when you're like backtracking through through Silent Hill and being like, no, I'm gonna fight those things chasing me. Like, no, just run, bro. It's okay. Like, that's the point.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Status Check. This is our August episode. Don't forget that we have a God, I feel like we have a lot of content, but at the same time we don't. We have Back of the Rack, which is another podcast where we talk about games long neglected, not respected. We recently released the episode for X-Men Destiny, so go check that one out. And the next one that's coming up will be Rumble Roses. So that fits the summer vibes. Although by the time we get that out, it'll probably be September. So
Yeah.
We also have Back of the Rack Radio, where Sondi mainly does a lot of mixes, video game mixes. I'm supposed to be creating something that changes the genres on there, but I just haven't put something together. I will put something together on there.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a very daunting task to put those fucking. You think it would be easy as fuck to do, but no, bro. Like all of the ones that y'all that have released so far, I have finished the backlog. I was cooking those shits up all last year, bro. It took all last year to not do all of those. So like, it's very difficult to get a vibe.
I might. I already have playlists, so I think I'm just gonna break down my playlists. Like I have a playlist of like maybe 200 songs, and I'll just break that down into a couple. The only thing I want to create a cool visual, so I think that's where the challenging part for me is gonna come from. What I want it to look like, but yeah, check those out, guys. The BOTR Radio I think is doing pretty well, although recently I've noticed that the videos have kind of gone down in views, but yeah, go check it out and join the Discord. Don't forget to
play along with us.
You can play the Back of the Rack game with us. Recommend songs, and also put in your question for us to read and discuss here on Status Check. But other than that, thank you guys. We will talk to you later.